Speaking of Mama's boys, welcome back.
Like, that's so not a segue. And also,
listen.
I really like that your thing is like, what's up with this tree she guards?
Listen, if you try hard enough, anything can be a segue.
But you might roll off a
That's what the
cliff.
segue people hoped for. Oh, I just got dizzy. I laughed too much. All right, hang on.
No,
I gotta. I'll be right back. I gotta get some water.
Anyway, when last we left our heroes, we were in the town of Edmay. We had seen some familiar faces. It had been over a day since you guys had returned, and Sepkha had not yet returned from his visit to the forest, which Sephi was a little bit concerned about, but not overly concerned. She said if you wanted to go check it out, you're welcome to go to the forest and find him, and find him you did amongst a weird, dead but alive forest at the same time, with a tree that was being guarded by a druid who didn't quite seem in her right mind. That was also using some very strange-looking beasts to guard his position. Thanks to some distraction and some other fancy techniques, you were able to free Sepkha from the tree that he was bound to, and were able to overcome this 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 druid who is having a bad time. Upon seeing Sepkha return, knowing that there was not much else she could do, she just kind of surrendered herself to you guys, as you were left to wonder what the hell happened out here. As you came around, uh, a cursory look at the situation through your normal magical means, detect magic and things like that, did not detect anything actively working or terribly out of place, but something definitely does seem to be wrong with this druid, as well as the tree that she was protecting. She had a kind of a weird protective vibe around it. But I will bring you back to the Edmay Forest, where our conflict had just resolved. Sepkha is up, and this druid is not having a great time.
Nah,
Here we go.
druids had better days. Probably so has this tree.
So there were a couple of items that you guys found along the way. Am I being robotic or am I good?
We're fading in and out right now.
It's probably.
Give it hot 30 seconds.
Everything okay now?
Nope.
We good?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
No.
You are not good yet.
I am not good yet.
You are not good yet.
I don't know how to fix that.
I think you just need to give it like literally. It usually fixes itself. Be very frustrated for like 10 seconds, and then it fixes itself in the midst of you being frustrated.
Now you're fading.
Yeah, by the time you're done giving
See,
the
now
recap,
you're
it's
fine,
good.
and now I'm bad.
A couple items, though, as clues along the way, you did happen to find this druid's journal in the forest that was written in Druidic, but a casting of comprehend languages was able to see through that. There was also a book that was amongst her possessions in her little camp-out area as well.
I still have the jars as well.
Yes, and you do still
The
have the
Book
jars.
of Creation.
Mhm.
The Book of Creation, I think the professor has that. Or does Ren have that?
I don't think I have it.
Uh,
Someone took it from me.
I think Nariko had it.
Oh, does Nariko have it? I just wrote down that the professor found it. Put down who actually took it after that.
hey, if no one else has it, I have it, okay? Fine. Ren loves to keep stuff, and y'all gave him a bag of holding. This is mine. Put it in here.
No, sorry. Nariko has it.
That makes more sense. I didn't remember having it, but hey, I'll play along.
Yep. Nariko read that one, while Ren and Yuki checked the jars and plants, and Aura read the journal. for some reason I had the professor on it, but it was because the professor and Yuki were investigating. I have notes.
And sometimes you even use them.
Yeah, sometimes. Not all the time. I also am sorry if I sound very nasally today, because that's just gonna happen.
Honey, you sound better than you did earlier, so
I
I'm
keep
so
blowing
happy.
my nose and nothing is coming out, and it's so frustrating. I'm fine now. Let's go. There's a fox spirit and a tree spirit and a very sad tiefling druid.
Yes.
Is it over? Is everyone okay?
I'm okay. Are you alright, Jade?
I'm alright. I was up a tree and I'm good now, and that man's up and he seems good. I think he's good. Hopefully. Is that who we're after?
I think so.
Okay, you go talk to him then. She just like gently nudged Yuki towards Sepkha because she doesn't want to get too close to him.
Yuki's, after seeing Sepka get up and just like fucking TCB, she's gonna kind of
Right?
look at Jade and go, well, but you've read about him in your books, so maybe you should go talk to
No.
him first. And she'll
No.
kind of like
I think
nudge
you should, no. She's gonna lean into Yuki, like that thing that like little kids do when they don't want to go somewhere and you're trying to push them.
Yuki will walk up to Professor and say, Professor, maybe you should talk to Sepka, make sure everything's okay. Wait, did you just have a fox next to you?
Yes.
Is that something that you've always been able to do?
No.
It's a new thing, then.
God, I feel like this is one of my therapy sessions again. How are you feeling? Fine. Anything going on we need to talk about? No. God, fuck, guys.
Remember, those are my students you likely have.
Jeez.
It's okay.
Ren
We
kind
can
of-
actually pull teeth from the professor to get him to talk. So
I fucking will.
Correct. Thanks, Leonin. Ren kind of slightly smiles and he goes, I appreciate your directness, but perhaps we could elaborate on this situation.
Elaborate on which you like. Are we on Sepka being better?
you had a fox thing jump out of you and then go back into you, and that was new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's new.
Are you
Let's learn
okay?
that.
Did that hurt? Does that you got an extra tail?
Yeah, that was a bit weird. We could talk about it when we're not in the middle of a forest with a man-eating tree and a killer druid that we have to deal with, and probably an entire forest full of void things. I would be happy to discuss more later.
It's a private conversation. That's fine. But good news. I had my void. There was no void outside of here.
That we've seen yet.
Well, that we've seen yet. We haven't seen the whole forest. That's probably true. You talk to Sepkha.
Why is everybody here so scared of Sepka? And he walks up to him, like, "Hello, Sepka. Good morning. How are you feeling? Nice to see you again."
Sepka has been sort of examining Morwynn's condition, turns to see the professor, gets sort of a smile and straightens up, kind of brushes off the bit of roughed up that he got during his stay in the tree. Says, "Well, now, a pleasant surprise. The professor graces us again."
I'm happy to see you are doing mostly well. I'm surprised to see you wrapped up in a tree having your life sucked out of you. That's new for you, yeah?
Yeah, not my finest moments.
That happens to all of us at some point. Are you doing all right now? Do you need a hand?
Sepkha kind of like flexes a hand. He says, "Well, as soon as I came back around, I expended a fair bit of my power, and it came fairly easily. So no, I don't think there were any lasting effects."
Excellent. Well, no time like the present to really get things going here. These are my friends, the Mystic Mechanicus. That's Ren with the horns, Nariko, Arby. That's Aura, Yuki, and Jade. We came here to speak with you, and we were surprised to hear that you had been gone for a while, so we came and found you.
Well,
Seppi was concerned.
oh, yes, I suppose she was. I'm sure given another day or two, she'd most likely come after my head herself. But I appreciate you coming forward. Mystic Mechanicus, you say? That's a name I've heard.
Oh, that's something I'm learning a lot, is that apparently word travels fast of our, what would you call this, exploits? Daring
Well,
deeds?
Adventuring,
Dear Professor,
community outreach.
Well, Professor, you and I know all too well that names carry power, and that will be felt, no matter how far on the wind it's taken.
Yes, this is very true. You know, little things like that often escape me when I'm thinking about larger things like world-ending potentiality. But I mean, that's a story for when we return back to the Starlight Tavern, perhaps.
Sepkha kind of raises an eyebrow. That's what's happening again.
Oh, we're due for another one. It happens every so often.
Yes, I do suppose we have some things to talk about, but first, my friend here seems very badly shaken up. I tried to expel any sort of compulsions or curses that might be responsible for her behavior, but nothing happened. Something different is afoot. You're very in tune with the spirits of nature. Perhaps you know something I don't.
She was very adamant that the well-being of her forest and her grove rested on the nurturing of that plant. And outside of the world of the spirits, I would probably err towards more of the maternal instinct, where if you're faced with an impossible decision or impossible situation like your children facing death, you would do practically anything using whatever you possibly could to make that happen. And this forest is not healthy.
No, but a forest weakening and dying as a result of natural causes, that is something that a druid should be able to understand and take in stride, unless the original lot is something different.
That's kind of what concerns me. See, we've been coming up against this thing during our travels. Every time we turn around, this thing called the Void, and we may not have seen it yet, but I have concerns that somewhere deeper within these woods, that there is some sort of void corruption that is impacting these things.
Interesting. I don't suppose you have a way of tracking such a curse.
Not without getting there. Our team is very adept to picking out magic where it is, noticing it. We have to get close to see it. So I believe the secret to what's happening here is going to lie somewhat deeper.
So, Morwynn had taken Sepkha to some sort of cave, you had mentioned, or ruin?
Yes, Sepka, you would actually know this place very well. It was the library that you had investigated the first time the Thorns had come to Edmay. The place where you had fought the Archfey, the Princess of Shadow and Glass. Um, it has since been pretty much purged of whatever had been plaguing it before, so now it's just kind of an old, decrepit underground library. But that is where Morwynn had led Sepka and how she kind of entrapped him.
There is a location in these woods, an ancient library of a lost civilization. It's where Morwynn laid her trap for me. I don't know if that might be a location we're seeking, or if it holds any lost knowledge related to your quest.
Lost knowledge aside, any location where someone like you could be overcome by someone like her is worth investigating.
Indeed. Well then, we could make our way there, but the question remains whether it's a safe idea to leave this tree that feeds on flesh unattended.
Well, if you like, we could make the trip in and investigate if you want to watch over your friend here, make sure she doesn't feed anything else to that thing.
Might be a good idea.
Just to, sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
It's
no, quite all right.
Hi.
Jay, wasn't it?
Yep, that's me. Hi, I'm here, over here. I'm with Yuki, over here. Hello. You're very shirtless and closer to me. I'm gonna go this way. Hello. It's nice to meet you. Now that you're not in a tree, I touched your knee a little bit. I'm sorry for that. I should have asked, but you're unconscious. So I'll tell Sephi that I touched your knee, and I'm sorry. It's a Golthius tree. That's a regular tree.
Would Sepka or Nariko make rolls to know Golthius tree and how it might be playing into things?
I think Sepka would have knowledge of a Golthius tree. It is kind of one of those cursed items. Curses kind of being Sepka's thing. It's just basically in terms of the the lore of this world, Golthius tree is basically just a tree that doesn't grow from just sun and water and fertilizer alone. It needs flesh and blood to grow.
Mm-hmm. Do these things tend to have an adverse effect on regular foliage and wildlife in the area?
For that, I would say that'd be like a nature or an arcana check.
We can do Arcana. Nariko is actually way better at Arcana than Sepka, but he'll give it a try.
Do it. Nariko, help Sepka.
Oh my god.
Never mind, he doesn't need it.
I mean, she can do this. There's that.
The curse thing being what it is, Nariko would certainly have the inkling that not only would this thing feed on flesh, but it would kind of feed on the surrounding life around it, and could potentially even give life to other beasts that have been, I would say, somewhat perverted in nature.
Sepka kind of nods and says, Golthius tree, a rather evil work of druidic magic. It doesn't just take in sunlight and the earth, it takes flesh and blood, and will even sap the life of other creatures nearby. It can bestow life, but generally only chooses to do so for creatures that will follow its will and protect it so it may grow even stronger.
Yeah, it's a really good predator tree. On which really not that many of them, because most trees are not predators. The looking around Yuki, the book that we found, I think Noriko said that she found a seed in a book. If she planted it thinking that it was going to help, not knowing what it was, that might be the reason. And if it's got a little bit of void magic to it, so if she got
the book from the library had a taint of void in the seed, then that would be the cause.
right, if the seed itself is the thing that she got, and she was trying to, her journal said that she tried to give herself to the trees, and that might have been how she got infected. I don't really like that word, but how she caught the void magic in herself.
I see.
Yuki will kind of rummage in her bag and say, I wonder if these are also have void magic in them, and she'll pull out the jars that they found.
I didn't sense anything but until we got here with the void. And only on her and the tree, and I mean the creatures that Sepkha made disappear. Is that right? Did I remember that right?
That is correct.
Yes.
Well, if these aren't void, then what is she doing with them?
So I mean, she's a druid. She might just be testing things.
Yuki, why don't you go ahead and give me a nature or survival check?
Oh, good.
Yuki, you got it.
I was just gonna give them to Ren.
I mean, Ren can help. Either one of you can roll.
What did you say? Nature or survival?
Nature or survival. If you want, you can have Ren help, or you can
Sure.
help Ren, or Ren can help you. However you guys want to do it.
I had a plus
Survival's
3
a
on.
+5.
I have a +7 to survival.
I have a +3 on both. So whoever wants to do a thing.
You want to do it? +7?
I mean, Yuki probably is the best one to do it. I'll just help her.
Okay. Help me!
Makes more sense that she would know more than me.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah. Roll one more time and see if you get a crit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Probably I look at that with your 22.
Very nice.
Yes.
25 because of Nariko.
These do not appear to be like the tainted, twisted creations that you've seen the Void create so far. These look like honest to goodness, actual like plants that could possibly be planted in anybody's garden. Looks like one of those like spreader plants that you use to try and like fill things out, and try to create more underbrush. Just try to create more with it to kind of let it like branch out and vine out. Looked like she had been tending to them, and just trying to get them to grow naturally. And like I said, there does not seem to be anything twisted about these things. Just possibly a growth to be replanted somewhere in the forest. Try to revitalize.
Witchlight still makes me sus.
Sus. Her journal said that the forest had been starting to rot, and she was trying to find ways to help it. And it was after that she found the seed. So whatever was happening to the forest, if she was trying to regrow it, but couldn't figure out why it was dying in the first place, it might have driven her a little bit, like the Professor said, a little bit desperate to find out what was happening. Because if it wasn't something that she could fix, she might have been trying to find other ways to replant it after. Maybe that's what those are. If she couldn't stop it, she was going to replant things once it was done.
Well, I feel better knowing that these aren't void, but I'll hold on to them just in case. See if she's able to come around and I wouldn't want to take everything from her. And she'll carefully tuck them back into her bag, keeping them safe.
If it's the tree that's doing something to her, maybe if we take care of the tree, Morwynn would be okay.
Yuki blinks. The tree that's eating people?
Yeah.
You
If the seed that she planted was this tree, and she tried to commune with this tree like she communes with her other trees, that might be how she got caught up in the void. Maybe if we take care of this tree, and it'll free Morwynn.
Do your words take care of imply that we should continue to feed it, or are you suggesting that we eliminate it?
Oh, I mean, whichever one works best. I don't really know. I mean, the tree itself, as a regular tree, wouldn't be terrible. It's just, it's also got void in it. So it probably can't be just around, because it's going to make it more predatory. But she said she planted a seed. Maybe, I mean, Ren, maybe you can do something? You're really good with plants and poisons and things, and so is Yuki.
Once again, are you expecting me to help this grow or something else?
I don't know. I mean, whatever we can figure out how to do that's the most helpful. If it was just a regular Gorthius tree, we could just replant it somewhere else where it wouldn't cause any problems, but it's not, so I mean, I don't know if hurting the tree will hurt Morrowind, though, but maybe you and Yuki could figure out if there's something else going on with it.
Okay, Ren will trot on over and can he evaluate the tree to see what the fuck's going on with it?
Yuki will help.
Give me a nature check.
Oh man, Yuki, how's your nature?
Same +3.
Mine's a +0. I do survival. I'm telling you guys, I do poisons and living, not trees. I take from nature to kill, guys. Stop thinking I know shit about trees.
Do you want me to roll then, Ren?
Yes!
I love exasperated Suzanne. It legit makes me so happy.
Great, I'm thrilled. You can come hang out with me at work. I'm like this all day.
Do I get advantage because we're working together?
Sure.
Yes.
Yay!
I'm not the DM.
Hey! Look at you with your 20.
Yeah, 22. Thanks to
you're-
Naruto.
So again, tell me. I'm sorry. What was it you're trying to deposit from this thing?
What the fuck's up with this tree?
Like, do we need to it's like, I don't know. Is the tree controlling her? Do we kill the tree? Will it affect her? Like, can I break a stick off, break a branch off, and look over and see if she's like, ow?
You're gonna bleed.
So you won't get that much with a nature check, but with that nature check, what you will get is that this is not a normal tree. This tree is bleeding. It is still kind of bleeding from where you nicked it when you tried to get Sepkha down. You do recall, however, that Morwynn did not seem to be affected when you attempted to attack the tree. But I will ask you this question, Yuki. Never mind. I don't need to ask you a question. Because a branch whips out and tries to grab at you, and
God damn it.
it pulls you into the tree, Yuki.
Yeah.
Oh
This is not a nice tree. That is what we have found.
Wow! Wow!
Ren, you
The cat's stuck in the tree.
immediately recognize this as a thorn whip. That is pulling Yuki towards it.
God damn it.
Trick.
That's my trick.
Oh no, but it's a thorn whip and it worked on the first try.
Yuki, you are going to take 10 points of piercing damage.
God fuck.
And you are grappled by the tree.
Oh, fuck's sakes. Ren's touching the tree with inflict wounds. Bad tree.
Are we finishing up with this tree now?
We will in a moment, depending on what you do. So, yeah. Your inflict wounds hits. The rest of you hear a commotion as Yuki is pulled into the tree, grappled by it.
Into the tree, meaning like up into the branches, or is she like in the trunk of the tree now?
She's not
Eating
in
her
the
now.
she's not in the trunk of the tree, but the branches are wrapped around her, pulling her in towards the trunk.
Oh no.
Ren, don't let it eat me.
I will do my best. If not, I will avenge you. Whatever's appropriate.
What? I think Yuki's gonna try to like bite at the fucking things holding her.
Are you just trying to bite at it, or are you going to try and like escape its grapple, which is something you can do?
I mean, sure, I would like to try to escape its grapple, since that's something that I can do.
It got a critical hit on you,
Love
by the
this
way.
shit.
Of course it
Oh,
fucking
that
did.
I
bitch!
rolled a nat fucking 20.
God
Oh,
damn
that
it.
It is why you
bitch!
didn't need to. That's why you didn't need to know what she was gonna do.
Yeah, I
that's why-
knew that
that's
was
why
I knew that was not gonna be good because you changed that fucking trajectory of that conversation real quick.
Yeah, it was a nat 20.
Yeah,
you
great.
why don't you give me acrobatics or athletics?
Great. Thank God I +6 to that. Jesus.
As it tries to pull you in, Yuki, you are able to kind of like wriggle your way out of it, slip out, and you're able to get back down to the ground.
Yeah, kitty cat. She is fluffed. She's full fluffed. Looks at Red, goes, thought it was gonna eat me.
I believe that was its intention.
Guys, I don't think we could leave this tree here.
Oh, okay. Morwynn probably shouldn't see us burn her tree.
Then she can close her eyes.
You should probably step away from the tree while you're at it.
Yeah. I mean, I can put something on it.
The Rena will note that the inflict wounds when you cast it, the necrotic damage dealt to the tree. You kind of saw one of its branches just kind of like wither and fade, and then just kind of like hang limp. Whereas with a normal tree, the branch probably would have like more disintegrated and snapped off. So this is acting more like a corporeal being than a plant.
Yeah, that's worth knowing.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna throw down a moonbeam on it. Is that a? Devin has to get close and just let it sit there.
Just gonna continue to attack a tree.
Hey, the tree started this shit.
Yeah, it tried to eat
Yuki
me,
and-
and it's got a health bar. This thing's clearly needs to die.
Yuki and Ren said that we can't keep it here, and Jade believes them. So, unless anyone else got any other ideas.
No, if that thing is allowed to live here, it's going to eat someone, something, somewhere, at some point.
I mean, it's not the tree's fault that it's a tree that eats people. But if it does have the void in it, then it's if this is not how Morrowind usually is, then something happened to her. Okay, everyone stand back. And Jade will raise her staff and tap it down, and a moonbeam will drop onto the tree. Can I make a Constitution saving throw?
It can.
Make me a DC 15 con saving throw.
Hang on a second. Put it right there. Hang on a moment. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it'll take damage. How long does
Okay.
the moonbeam stay up?
Moonbeam will stay up for 1 minute.
So I will say, letting the moonbeam stay up for a minute, this tree will slowly kind of burn in your moonbeam, and it will bring it down. And as it just kind of burns, unless there's anything else you want to do, you're just gonna kind of like let the moonbeam sit on it and just burn it.
I'll just let the moonbeam sit there unless someone else has any other ideas. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna let the moonbeam sit there.
Professor, you are blocking Morwynn's sight of this?
Yeah.
Okay. So the tree burns. You kind of get in Morwynn's way, and she just kind of is staring blankly out into space, like in the opposite direction of the tree. She begins to face the tree. Just kind of simmers in the moonbeam, and eventually it's just kind of like worn down to a point where all of its branches and all of its leaves and all of its limbs just kind of they start withering and dropping, and as branches break and leaves fall off, it starts kind of like where you would see a tree normally have sap run down its trunk. Instead, it is blood, like ruby red blood, just pouring down its trunk, soaking into the ground around it.
Ew.
I can see why Papa says it's very pretty. Oh, big giant X on it.
X.
With the tree gone and moonbeam, letting the moonbeam run as long as it can, just to like kind of burn everything out of here. I will bring my detect magic back up.
Mm-hmm.
Do I detect any void from that area still?
Yes.
Okay, the tree is gone, but the void isn't.
The professor kneels down and just kind of, with just like the tip of one of his fingers, he's gonna sort of like touch the tree blood and kind of rub it between his finger and his thumb and look at it. And can I use like a medicine check or something to see if I can figure out if this is indeed like blood in the sense that, yeah, this is like creature blood, or is this just like gross red sap?
Yeah, give me a medicine check.
Yeah, that's gonna be a 6.
Sure seems like blood.
I don't know anything about this type of tree. Jade, you seem to know more. This is normal for this type of tree to bleed like this.
Just to be sure, yep.
As far as you know.
Yeah, it's a Gulthius tree. It bleeds like that.
Orpheus tree. And in your experience or in the tales you've heard, have they always had ties to the void?
No, they're just a regular tree. Well, it's a Gulthius tree is. That's just how a Gulthius tree is. It eats things. It's kind of like those little trees that have. Have you ever seen those little trees? I guess they're not really trees. They're little mouths, and they eat flies.
Like a Venus flytrap?
Yeah, like those. It's kind of like that, only in a big tree.
Right. Except
They
this one.
usually grow in their own groves. They don't usually grow out this in places like this. I mean, you could plant them in places like this, but
Which seems to be what happened. Okay. He gets back up and walks back over here, wiping the blood off his hands, off his coat.
is the seed still does? If that was the thing that held the void, is the seed still there somehow, like in the dirt?
I mean, I'm not a gardener, but I'm pretty sure that when a seed grows into the tree, the seed stops being a seed.
I don't
But
know.
it doesn't.
Void seed, and it like the shell bit is still there or something. I don't know.
Well, if Void Gardener is a title, then I might as well have it. He gets down, starts digging around in the dirt looking for a seed.
Definitely looks like a little fox right now.
Nature check?
Nature check. Nature is +0. I rolled 11.
No seed. You can dig for as long as you like, but whatever is the root of this tree, the bulb, whatever, is this thing has kind of blossomed from, it runs very deep. I'm not sure you'd be able to get to it just by digging with your claws alone.
This runs very deep. Very. Did she plant it that deep, or did it get that?
Roots grow lower once you plant them.
Yes, I suppose so.
Naruko will send Arby up so that he can equip his fancy new drill and
RB stump grinding service.
Arby begins his excavation.
I mean, yeah, you can have RB excavate. He'll be there for a while, but he can get down to the trunk of it and just kind of start chipping away until it would take a while, but eventually he'll hit the stone of the ceiling of the library that's underneath the ground.
Oh, I didn't realize that was like here.
Yeah. Yeah, the map
Okay.
isn't that great. Yeah, well, I also didn't expect you to
Is this the entrance?
stump grind to the. No, the entrance is kind of off map, but.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
Cool.
I wasn't sure you guys would dig that far.
Well, we did. Thank you, dwarves, for all of your influence on us.
I'm sorry. We still see little shiny interact buttons here on this map. We're not done yet.
Yeah, seriously.
Hey, all good. I mean, I had the knowledge ready just in case.
Well, if that's gonna take Arby a while to dig, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Jade will just gently poke the professor while we're watching Arby. I'm just gonna say, Professor, I touched you on your side. I'm sorry. If Arby's gonna dig, do you want to have Sepkha read the scroll while we wait? Since he's here and awake and not apparently too injured, and he's still shirtless, so maybe you can give him a coat or something.
Is Sepkha shirtless?
Isn't he?
I
In
mean,
that
in the
picture?
art, he is. In game terms, he's wearing plate armor and a robe.
Oh, I thought he was dressed like he is in his token right now. That's why I'm like,
I mean, I fully expect his armor is like that old school Greek armor where it sculpts your pecs for you onto it.
Oh yeah, so she
Yeah.
just thinks he's shirtless then.
It's just very
Yeah,
golden.
he's shiny and shirtless, and she doesn't know how to handle that. So it's just and also maybe you can just give him a coat or something. He's married.
Okay, we don't have to talk about this again, but the biology of a Kekabeshian is not different than humans of this time. That's not his skin. Humans aren't shiny like that.
Well, I don't know what men look like without their shirts on. I don't know what's under your shirt.
You've seen me naked.
I did not. I looked away.
I mean, to your defense, I'm not really human. I just kind of look at it sometimes. Sure. Maybe the scroll will be like a scroll of shirt or something.
Maybe. We don't know.
Scroll of
Just
shirt.
also completely not. Everyone can hear this. No volume.
Yuki is trying to stop her fucking wound from bleeding. She goes, "Wait, remember the guy the siren saw? Ow! He saw his chest. Ow!
Yeah, he had the moves like Jagger.
He was a tiefling.
That's it. The Jagger moves. Ow!
Who is Jagger?
He's got the moves, I like this, and he kind of wiggles his hips around.
No, I'm going
I
this
do
way.
not know this.
Oh, well, we could go back if you want to see.
I assume
oh.
Jagger's deity or something. I don't know.
Are you
Oh,
okay?
he's like the god of dance and singing.
Oh, all right.
That is why I do not know.
I don't. I'm not knowing it. Yuki here.
What? Oh, thank you, Jade. Oh, that feels better.
You're welcome.
That tree, man. I love nature, but
You don't look too bad. You know, it's a little bit of scratches, but your coat is nice and fluffy.
well, I was taken aback, a little by surprise. I wasn't expecting that tree to.
Move.
It's just gonna be awful. I was gonna say I didn't expect the tree to whip like Fred does.
Well,
Don't make a joke about Nene. Someone make a joke about Nene. I can't do it.
I don't know what that is.
Goodness. Yeah, wasn't expecting that.
I should have warned you. I'm sorry. I thought you and Ren would probably know what it was when I said it. I apologize. That's my fault.
You did not make the tree try to eat me, Jade. It's all right.
No, it just does that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're actually really pretty. You know.
Mm. I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Noriko, how are you doing? Are you okay? Did you get hurt?
Nariko looks fine. She says, "No, I was in the back. I got a few shots off, and then I was mostly concerned with trying to rouse Sepkha while Arby kept the
Yeah.
dog things off of us. So I'm
That was-
quite well, I think, considered."
That was really great. I mean, he stood up and just kind of did. He was the stories were not wrong. That was definitely right in all the stories that I read. That was not exaggerated.
I thought maybe he was just going to talk to her. I was not expecting he's actually a demigod. Is that right?
That's what the bard says, and I think he's right because I've never seen anyone do anything like that before.
Okay.
I mean, I can, but that's different.
Yeah, he had a lot of scrolls in that pouch. Like,
he's got a lot of everything on him, and he's very shiny. And Professor says that it's not actually his helplessness that's shiny; that's armor. And I don't know if I've completely believed that because did you see what he did?
yeah. At least he's on our side. He's a friend of Lorelai's and Seppi, and I am glad that he was here because I think we probably would have been able to win that fight, but I don't know. You guys were getting kind of hacked by those owl bear things up there. So.
I've never seen a two-headed owlbear before.
No, they're not supposed to be like that.
To be completely honest, I've never actually seen a real owlbear before. So I don't know if they're supposed to have two heads.
I saw one in a circus that traveled.
Really?
It only had the one head.
Yeah. See, I don't think that's supposed to be right.
No. I mean, the dogs had tentacles coming out of their faces. That was definitely void.
The tentacle thing definitely was weird. Yeah.
So, I guess either RB will find whatever the route is, or we'll have to go to that library and search for some answers there.
Yeah, that's probably. I mean, best to at least make sure there's nothing still up here that can grow back. I don't know if it can grow back after it's been burned away, but
Well,
Jade,
maybe.
not, you know?
Jade, give me another Arcana check.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Woohoo! Dirty 20.
As you think about it, Jade, the one thing you recall Papa telling you about Gulthius trees is that unless they are subject to a hallow spell, another very high level spell, they have a tendency to grow back even if there's this tiniest splinter of them remaining. Usually takes a couple of days, number of days, but
yeah. As Jade says that, she's definitely shifting back and forth on her feet very nervously as she watches Arby. I'm pretty sure that they can grow back though, so best to get it all if we can, because otherwise we're gonna have to burn the whole thing, and I don't think Morwynn would like that.
Did Jade mention specifically like a hallow spell?
Yeah, she'll say that. I think the only thing that prevents it is if you have like, a hallow spell, but I don't know how to do that.
Well, if we've got Sepkha here, who might, if not him, wasn't Sephi like a equally powerful cleric of I don't know which goddess? Akadi. Okay.
Oh, it's a wind goddess.
Okay. I mean, she might be able to consecrate this spot.
Oh, that's true too. It does take a few days for it to grow back, so we would have a little bit of time.
Excellent. Okay, so that's a solvable problem with the resources on. So yeah, maybe I was at first I was thinking about, you know how I did that thing at Dumdaral with the alcohol and the air compression and the explosion.
That was wonderful, by the way. Again, that was really great.
Oh, thank you.
It was loud though.
Was thinking of something similar. Don't think I want to do that if we don't have to.
No, and also it might not get all the pieces.
Yeah.
Even if there's like a tiny little piece left, and then if it gets blown somewhere else, it'll just grow again.
Yeah, that's once you started talking more, that also was something I started considering as a downside. So.
Yeah, I'll just get Sephi to do it if we can't get it all, and then maybe we should just have her do it anyway, just to make sure.
Yeah, good plan.
Yep, that's good plan. I'll tell the professor to have Sepkha read the scroll while we wait for Arby.
Cool. Smash cut to other conversation.
Yeah.
So the professor will come up to Sepkha and pull the scroll out of his jacket pocket. And he says, well, if we're going to be here for a little while, perhaps you might be interested in taking a look at this. One of the reasons why we came here to begin with is that no one can seem to speak this, and Giza seems to think that you're the person to do it. You'll hand it to him.
Sepkha kind of takes the scroll and chuckles. It's like, I'm somewhat surprised that Giza thinks me that sublime a scholar, but we're several thousand years removed from the last time I was in her classroom, so she might have forgotten my study habits. But let's take a look here. Sepkha will unroll the scroll and give it a lookie.
I'm sending you information now.
Oh boy. Now we get another game of DM dispenses plot important information, and then player has to figure out how their character would translate that for the rest of the party.
Ding ding.
Right?
Oh, I love that game.
It's a good game, but it does get very anxiety inducing.
It's anxiety-inducing for the DM because the players don't always necessarily pick up on what the important clues are.
I'll give you the important clues.
Oh yeah.
Can I have riddles for toddlers for 200? And then we still spend an hour trying to figure out how to open the unlocked door.
This is why I usually make the puzzles optional, and you just get prizes if you put up with it.
Yeah, but we want the prizes.
Well then, go do the puzzle.
We will, and then we're dumb, and it's gonna take us like 2 sessions to figure out.
You kind of suck at puzzles. That is a universe
We really
thing.
do. We do. You know what? Collectively, together, we can always solve them. It's just on our own, where it's like, ugh. It's so much fun though to get a puzzle
Eventually.
that you can solve like in your like outside of like it needing to be like solve it right this moment thing, but like with the ciphers and stuff that we got the last time, that was super fun because you could just take your time with it. But also, Like, damn, dude.
Yeah. Sepka kind of looks
Goodness for
over
Ben on
this
that one.
to you, sort of nods to himself. He says, Isolat al-Fasad. Interesting. Professor, what you have here is a spell scroll. The dialect is ancient enough that it's contemporary to ancient Kekadesh. It's a sort of arcane shorthand used by only the highest society of magus. These would be archmages, priest kings, that sort of thing. The spell itself would roughly translate to remove corruption. Interestingly, someone's written some notations for a formula here, and I think if I provided some translation for you, it could be used to learn the spell. The formula in question is not compatible with my own magics, so any paladin or sorcerer, someone whose magic is innate to their blood, would not be able to make use of it.
Interesting. That is exciting. Yes, any help with translations that we could use. I have made it my mission to find a way to remove any sort of void corruption, and if this could help with that, even if I can't do it myself, the knowledge that someone can, and if I have the means to provide that someone with instructions, then we stand to make a hell of a dent in this. I don't even know what to call it, this battle against the void.
Well, whoever wrote this scroll seemed to have termed it a corruption in some capacity. But yes, I think this will give you a tool in your arsenal to remove whatever changes this void is enacting. And considering the company you keep, it seems like you have a wide selection of magically talented friends that you could work on this with.
He just grins. He's very excited at the prospect of finally getting some answers on how to combat this without absorbing it entirely to try and learn about it.
Now, Joe, do I get any notion of like what rough circle of spell this would belong to?
Well, your unique position, your unique connection that you have to the Duat, seems like some sort of thing that perhaps a death domain cleric might have some ability for.
Oh.
I was actually just asking for the spell level, not the class, but that works. That's good information too.
Yeah, I might have been excited to give that tidbit out.
I already heavily suspected that to be the case, but
yeah.
that's also cool. But original question also stands if I do have any insight into that.
Level spell is a second level spell.
That is amazingly cheap. That is great. Remove curse is like way higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. So Sepka will look it over and look over to Ren and say, not Anubis, Thanatos. Right. That's the shepherd of the dead that you are bound to, correct?
Correct.
My people have a distinct connection when it comes to life, death, the afterlife, and how it relates to our conception of the gods. I very much feel that your connection would allow you to make use of this magic. And given the power I sense from you now, perhaps right away, even.
Thanatos has sent me similar signs that I can be beneficial with this particular scroll.
Good. Always worthwhile to pay heed when the gods deign to speak. They take a light touch, but they care very deeply for those under creation.
Yeah, Ren looks down at his body knowing he's been brought back to life. Light touch. Right.
If they ever go beyond that, you can be certain that the consequences are dire. He places great trust in you, and so I will as well. Uh, if you allow me some time with this scroll, I will do my best to create a workable translation for you so that you may study it and add it into your own magics.
I would appreciate that greatly.
Naturally. Ah, I realized something. I don't think I've had the chance to properly introduce myself. We were a little bit rushed in our meeting. I would like to formally welcome you to Edme, its forests. I am Sepkha, Master Baker of the Starlight Tavern, Seeker of the 3 Stars of Michelin, happily married, rebuilder of Edme, father of the morning and evening stars, banisher of the closet monsters, practitioner of patriarchal puns, the chef supreme, and golden thorn of the Black Rose.
Oh my god, yes!
Delightful.
Those are many
Oh,
titles.
There's new ones in there that I didn't have in my last book.
All of them earned, and all of them with a story behind them, as you will soon carry stories of your own. Ren, banisher of corruption.
It is a great responsibility.
It always is. But I find that when we look back, we're never given more than we are ready to bear. Not when it truly matters. So then, it seems the answers to your quest lie in the library.
Is that our next stop? Ren asks, looking around.
Yes, I think so.
What do we do about Morwynn?
I think while you tend to the library, leave her here with me. She's been an old friend of me and Seth. I want to take her back to Edne so that between the two of us we can try and heal this despair that's been clouding her mind.
If she really is being influenced by the void and Ren is able to banish it, Ren can help too.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
With her back in our care, I can spend some time working on this scroll for you so that once your business there is done, you'll have the tools to make use of it if that turns out to be what she needs. It may be that dispelling whatever void is within the library may also do her some good. I can't say.
I hope it works. You and the professor still look a little worse for wear. Do you need?
Oh, yes. I will be fine, but save your magics. Professor Sepka just kind of flicks you on the shoulder. Take back 20 hit points.
Oh God!
God damn it.
Hell yeah.
God, sometimes it is good to have a level 20 just hang around.
That's a racial ability he has. That's not even his lay on hands.
Dude.
Crazy. All right. So it sounds like party is looking to go down to the library, and Sepka is looking to take Morwynn back to the tavern.
Yeah. Sepka plans to take Morwynn back to the tavern, just so that while he and Sephi and Z can go over what's happened, there's at least one person who can keep with Morwynn and like keep her calm and also keep her from trying to like tree stride out of here again. Um, he can bring back to Sephi that the Golthius tree will probably need a hollowing to make sure that that is taken care of.
Okay.
So either him or her can come back to this clearing to meet with the party once they're done. Since it's it's like an hour to get back to Edmay and then an hour to send someone out here. So depending on how quickly the party gets done with their stuff, they're not going to meet up back here, or they can come back to Edmay. Either works.
Okay.
You're sending the nerds into a library. How long do you think it's gonna take?
Yeah.
I mean, we could all just go together.
I leave the decision to you.
Just leaning into Naruko. She trapped him in a tree before.
Yeah, but it sounded like she had to take him by surprise for that to work.
Yeah. How surprising would it be if she just suddenly jumps back and goes, ah, you know?
I don't know. He is very shiny.
He is really shiny.
Jade, you were kind of scuffed up a bit too. Do you maybe want to get some of his healing as well?
I'm okay. I've only got a little bit of scratches.
Okay.
I think you'd have to touch me to do that.
I mean, he seems nice.
Yeah, they all seem nice, don't they? No, it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I'm good. I am good over here behind Ren. Until we get back, and then Sephi is there, and then we can all have... So Sephi can be there.
Is that a thing? If you're married, you can't touch other people.
Huh? Oh no, it's just that I'll just feel. I already touched him once, and he wasn't conscious about it, and then I feel a little weird about that, and then I just feel weird about it. I think it's fine. He touched Professor, and Professor's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, you're not supposed to? It's just that he's married and was in it. Like, I thought he was shirtless, and I don't know how that works with that, but apparently he's not, so that's okay. And I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know how the marriage works.
I don't know, because we're not married, but you cure me all the time.
That's true.
And Ren, you both cure our friends with touches.
That's true. I do touch you quite a lot, for healing, mostly.
Okay.
I suppose I could get healed if I need it. Do you think I need it? If I sign my book now, do you think it would be weird?
I mean, he did like a whole introduction thing, so I feel like, that's the point, to be like, oh, hey, can you sign my book? And then it's not weird because you're not like a fan who's like prompting him out of nowhere. Instead, he sort of like made it a bit of a public thing. So like socially, I think it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's okay. You come with me when I ask him that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Sepka.
Hello, Miss Jade.
This is Noriko. I have so you know who you are. I have a book. Would you sign it if I gave you a book that's about you to sign? Would you sign that for me? You don't have to. I have a book, 2 books actually. You could just sign the one, and then I have another book that's just your book. If you could sign that, you don't have to. Is that weird to ask you that now after you've been eaten mostly by a tree?
It's not weird. No, I would be happy to sign your books.
Oh, good. Okay. So
If I do so, though,
yes.
I would like to ask you,
Yes.
and I will still be happy to sign your books even if you do not wish to, but I have a book of my own in which I like to take down the names of new, I guess, adventurers, is what you would call it. People who I can see and sense have strong souls and are taking themselves out into the world to find their destiny.
That sounds like a good book.
It is. It's a very good book. There are times where I enjoy just simply sitting down, reading the various names, thinking back on my encounters with them, and then, if I am lucky, sometimes when I dream, I can get small visions, seeing how they're progressing, seeking out their dreams of their own.
Oh, my papa has a book like that.
Oh, and who is your papa?
Oh, just, you know, Noriko. I have some books.
Naruto just sort of looks at Sepka Stonefaced and says, Moloch.
Yeah.
Sepka kind of freezes for a second, and then just kind of processing, little blue spinny wheel in the brain. Just, oh. Well, if I ever get a chance to meet him, I'll let him know that he's raised a quite lovely daughter.
Oh, did you want to talk to him?
I suppose I don't have a need to right this moment,
Oh, okay.
but I have no doubt that would be quite an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
I don't tend to be well received in the Nine Hells most often, so.
No? Have you been there often?
No, actually.
Oh.
They demons and devils tend to work very hard to not be anywhere near me or my wife if they know we're about.
Oh, yeah, because yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I
we did. What was it? Joe, help me out here. Was it Ball, or there was some demon taking over Edmay that we kicked the shit out of? I'm trying to remember his name.
I think it was Ball.
Yeah. Yes. Well, after that whole kerfuffle with Ball, once upon a time, word spreads as it does.
Jade smiles and then kind of like ducks her head a bit, and she says, "Yeah, that went over really great at the All Hallows party."
Oh yes.
Not that you had. I mean, it was just he hasn't lived that down.
Yeah. Well, I would say there's no hard feelings, but no, he absolutely murdered and desecrated an entire village. So no, I'm not sorry.
Oh no, you shouldn't be. He kind of deserved that.
Wonderful. Well, let me pull out my scroll here. I'll pass it to you, and then.
Oh, did you want?
I'm not going to have enough room to write my full name.
Oh no, that's okay. That's why there's two books. Wait, hold, Ren. And she hands the scroll to Ren. Can you hold that? And then she'll take out of her bag two books. One is Volume 2, which she has had Z and Sephi sign. And then she'll take out a second book. Smaller. It's thinner. And on the front of it, it just says The God King Sepkha. And she'll open it, and it's just a list of all his titles. Some of which look like they are written in sparkly gel pen, and some of them look like they're written in gold. And it seems to be very much matching to whatever title he has at the time, in flowing script, and some in block letters, and others in very jagged writing, all clearly by the same person. And at the very back of it, where there's still quite a few pages left, you can see as she flips to the back, on the very last page, still looking like it's maybe freshly drying, are some of the titles that he just said aloud. And underneath it says, Hugs and Kisses, the Bard.
You don't need to reveal, but does Sepka know the Bard's identity?
Nope.
All right. So Sepkha will look definitely be very interested in this second book as he reads through it all, and he'll sort of cock an eyebrow. He'll put to the front page, and he will write to Jade, a lovely young lady with a grand future ahead, signed Sepkha, and then underneath, to the Bard, who is clearly one of my #1 fans. Hugs and kisses. I know.
When you write that, underneath that comes back a winky face.
He's gonna let it go. He's gonna let it go. Just close the book. Take out the other one, right where Sephi has written her name. He'll put like a little heart, and he'll say, "And Sepkha," and then in very small print underneath it, "Priest King of Kekapesh, God Pharaoh reborn, Eternal Emperor of the Shifting Sands, Mighty Lion of the Infinite Desert, First and Greatest of Lord, King of Kings, Lord of the Earth, Monarch of the Sky, Ruler of the Four Horizons, Most Benevolent High King, etc., etc., etc."
Nail. I was gonna say, oh god, we found two characters who can't stand to have the other have the last word.
We found two characters who what?
Can't stand to have the other have the last word.
Hey, the Bard only writes in this book. Volume 2 is Jade's own book.
Yeah. So, Jade, the scroll, he calls it a book, but it's a papyrus scroll that he hands you. The first many meters of this scroll are filled with names in symbols that she cannot read. But then further down, you start to see some names that are in the common tongue, or some of them are in like Elvish or Dwarvish, etc. You see a few pop up there that you recognize, such as Lorelei, Kashanti, Temerity, and then further down, there are some other names that you don't recognize that seem to be more recent. And then finally, there's a little spot at the bottom where you can add your own.
Wow, and you want me to sign this?
Of course. Any of you are welcome to sign it, should you wish.
Wow,
You
thank you.
saved my ass from being eaten by a tree. It's the least I could do.
Oh, we're in the neighborhood. And she'll sign her name.
Very good. Jade signing Naruko will go ahead and sign Naruko von Bruxner.
Jade, mononym.
Yeah. Professor, have you already signed this book previously?
I think he would question first, like, does it only work if you sign your actual name?
Sepka kind of gives Professor a grin and says, being that this is a product of divine magic, the spirit is generally more important than the letter.
He nods, satisfied with that answer, and shrugs, and yeah, he would sign the professor.
Anyone else want to sign up to the mailing list?
Ren will regard it and then write his name in his like scraggly, warbly print.
I think Yuki, just having Fedwin visit her in her dream, and hearing Sepka talk about sometimes when he dreams he might see what they're doing on adventures, she'll be cautious, but I think she kind of wants to see what happens, so I think Yuki would sign as well.
Okay. And then Sepka will look over to Aura. And how about you, our quiet friend?
I'm not like signing my life away, am I?
No. Once upon a time, you could have been signing your afterlife away, but the scroll no longer holds that power, and I don't claim any kingship over such things anymore now.
Aura will step up, and she is going to sign as Nuala.
Nuala. Aura, as you sign, the name Nuala, it kind of shifts a bit. It shifts to, for a moment it says Reverie, then it says Aura, then it says Temerity, but then it sort of crystallizes into Nuala and stays there.
Can you explain that one?
Sepkha just kind of looks to Aura and he says, names have power, but ultimately we are who we choose to be.
Aura will nod and just step back.
Sepkha may have spotted a couple interesting things when he had True Sight up for just a short moment last session.
Maybe.
But he's going to be a good friend and not dead name people. And also, he doesn't know the story behind this yet. Yeah. Well, before you go, Jade, you do look like you received a bit of a scratch. Would I be able to offer you some restoration before you head back into possible danger?
Oh, she looks at Noriko and then back. Yeah, that's okay, because you're married, right? That's still okay. But that's not a thing that you're not supposed to do once you're married, is it? I don't know. I'm legitimately asking. That's a real question.
If granting healing magics to those in need was not allowed, I honestly don't know. Sephi would be in way more trouble than I would be. She goes traveling about as a cleric of Makati all the time, helping those in need.
Oh, good. Okay. Then yes, you can do that.
Just hold out your hand, and Sepkha will place her palm onto hers. Sepkha uses Lay on Hands. However many hit points you're missing, you can have back.
7.
7? Yep, that's easy.
I only got hit a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
So
I'm
offer the
the
same
one
to
that's
Yuki.
trying to eat the tree.
Since she took, 10 points of damage from the Thorn Whip?
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, she got hit by the tree. I think I'm only 2 down.
Okay, yep, 2 hit points. Done.
Yuki getting those 2 hit points back and bringing her up to full. Like, you notice her fur kind of fluffs back up to this normal poof that she normally is, and she'll look at Sepkha and say, "Thank you."
You're most welcome. Well then. Sorry. You've faced down this void before? Is there any are you confident heading to the library yourselves, or do you want any more of my assistance?
Will you be
Libraries.
okay alone?
Well, yes, I'm fairly confident that Morwynn, without the element of surprise, would not be able to hinder me the same way she did before. And it's
Libraries tend to be an area of great comfort for this group. I believe we will be fine.
Also, we were sent to bring you back, not to bring you on more adventures that would take you farther away from Sephi. I feel she is kind and sweet, but there might be some wrath in there.
yeah.
Should do so.
Very good point. I have an excuse, but I am still very, very late to meeting with her. I should go make sure that she knows I'm okay. That way, we will not have any sudden thunderstorms or earthquakes in the immediate vicinity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Right. I'm going to appraise her of what has happened here and get her to offer the help she can. Yeah, and you all signed the scroll. If you get into any serious trouble, I'll know about it. It'll be fine.
I think Yuki's one of her ears will kind of twitch at that, just like, wait, what? But she
You didn't
won't.
read the terms and conditions. I don't know when I could read this.
So, with that, Sepka will go ahead and, if Morwynn is not willing to stand up and walk it off, he'll just carry her to head back to Edme.
She will. She'll get up and she'll start moving under her own power, but she won't talk much. And she won't really. She won't resist you for sure. But she'll go along with where you lead her. She's kind of like mumbling about the tree and how her baby will return and things of that sort. But she doesn't make any hostile movements or gestures or anything like that.
Sounds good. All right. Exit stage right, pursued by bear.
Okay. So meanwhile, the rest of you guys, you're all heading to the library, the underground library.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of theater of mind going with this one. So Sepka can easily give you directions as to where the entrance of this place is. So you would follow his direction, and it's not far. It's a 2-minute walk from where you guys are. What you find is a stone stairwell that just leads down under the ground, just kind of in a small clearing of trees that is, as I said, not too far away. As you approach this stairwell heading down, you would see etched into the stone above the doorway a small quill, a symbol of a quill, kind of etched into the stone. Do you guys descend?
Look at the symbol.
We do.
Yeah. Is this something that any of us would have seen before, this quill?
Give me a history check. Anyone who wishes to do so.
That's a 9 for me. My rolls are not good.
Ooh, Ren knows shit.
Oh my gosh, I think that's the first time Narco's ever rolled low on a history check.
History, I have no proficiency in history. It's Arcana that I roll
Oh, Arcana.
all the
What I'm
bonuses.
thinking of.
I'll throw some guidance over to Ren though.
Hell yeah.
I love it when I know shit. It doesn't happen very often.
So, Jade, Yuki, and Ren would certainly know this. Narco, not your area of expertise. Reverie or Aura, you're still pretty new to the world. Professor, very vexing that this knowledge has somehow escaped you. But Jade, Yuki, and Ren, you realize from some sort of classroom teaching or knowledge of people coming and going in your space, this little quill symbol is the symbol of the red quill, which is it was basically a group of scholars that lived in this area quite a long time ago. It's probably not as old as Kakabesh say, but pretty old. But they were basically a guild of scholars that kept books about history and arcana and things of the sort.
All right, I'm sure we will share that information.
All right. solid branding.
And it does kind of
Nice.
give you an inference as to into what kind of place you're about to enter.
Oh, this sounds like my type of place, and he will waste no time going down.
Ren will follow. Can't let the professor go too far away without him.
As will Yuki.
We have rules.
Naruto will follow.
All right.
You know, I thought I was going out. I was going to be in the forest, fresh air, change of pace, and I am back in the library.
Does this surprise
Funny
you?
how that happens, isn't it?
Maybe
This does not surprise me.
this is just what the Mystic Mechanicus is. We are bookfinders.
It's helped a lot so far. Kind of.
Knowledge is power.
Knowing how to use that power is knowledge in itself,
The more you know.
or practice.
Wouldn't that be? I think that would be more wisdom, actually,
Is that wisdom?
to apply the knowledge you have effectively.
Well, then we're very wise.
Mm.
As a whole.
Ren kind of just eyes the professor and looks back to Jade.
What?
Why are you doing that? You're doing that weird skull thing where you're being incredulous.
I am
But
a
trying to
weird skull
pretend like you're trying not to be, but you're really not.
I did not know I was pretending not to be.
You know, your life would be very boring without us.
I would not have life without you, it would seem. I would probably still be dead.
He just grins, turns around, kind of like pats Ren on the side of the face gently. He says, "It's because we're best friends forever. And it seems that your God has put us together because all of this, my scroll, your abilities, look, we are destined to do big things. We're in this together now.
I am destined to clean up your messes.
Everyone has a purpose. I like that you're accepting of this."
So descending the steps. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
When Professor's talking about like purpose, it's just like, I mean, I did feel a little bit tingly when the man in the golden armor was talking about destiny and stuff, but I don't know. It feels like most of what I've been doing has been stumbling into danger and shooting things.
You are very good at that. Both of them.
So that way other people don't have to stumble into danger and shoot things.
You know, Papa often says when my sisters come back home that sometimes it's really hard to tell when you're stumbling or when you're following something that you need to follow.
What about when you are falling?
Well, when you're falling, you just fall.
Right.
But I don't know anything about destiny, but I mean, I think we make our own destiny, but we're choosing to be here, so maybe that's why it's our destiny then. Because we're choosing to follow it. Stumble down it.
Yep. And I will be very happy to have RB be the first one to meet our destiny when it arrives. So get in there, big guy.
Good show, Arby.
So you descend into the chamber below the ground. What you first step into as you reach the bottom is a square chamber, and you find yourself at a kind of like an X junction. So or like a T junction actually. So where you're at, ahead of you, directly in front as you get off the stairs, you see there is what appears to have been an old reading room. The chamber that you're in is a bit of a lounge. To your right, down a short hallway, is like a bunk area, where it looks like some old sleeping quarters have been arranged. Turning to your left, another short hallway leads you to a stone door that has been opened, beyond which is a very large circular chamber that is lined with old bookshelves and seats. The furniture throughout this area is old. It's kind of dry rotted, but Down here it is, it's got like that bit of a musty smell, but it is dry. The walls are all, the walls, the ceiling, all made of stone. Being in the forest, you can kind of see the little bits of roots and stuff that have started, roots of like small plants that have started to kind of like grow around the stone and kind of wrap themselves around the stone. Um, some cobwebs, just the general look of this place not having been used regularly for a while. Um, but as I said, nothing is like destroyed. There's no like moisture or anything to kind of like actually rot stuff. But that is kind of where you're at the moment.
So I'm trying to remember. Towards the left is where.
Yeah, towards the left is where the large circular chamber is.
Okay.
Towards the right is like the bunk area, and kind of up ahead is like a small reading room.
Well, the big repository sounds like the most promising location, so that's where Narco will want to head first.
Any objections?
Nope.
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 All right.
Nope.
Narco, assuming you're sending RB forward.
Yep.
RB moves forward. You guys are freely moving about down here. It's quiet. It's dark. There doesn't seem to be anything that jumps out or tries to scare you or anything like that. There are no traps that trigger. RB can roll on ahead completely unimpeded. As RB reaches the large circular chamber, there is shattered glass kind of all around the edges. There are, where mirrors had once stood, their mirrors have been shattered out of them. But there are still some tables and chairs ranged in a circle. There are, as I said, bookshelves that have some aged books on it. But what you do notice against the far wall of this circular chamber, you do see a large, massive root system that is kind of like stuck on the side of the wall.
Well, that's the root of our tree there. Narco pulls open her briefcase and proceeds to pull out a broom and hands it to RB and be like, "There is broken glass all over this place. Please, that is not safe." Gonna have RB go tidy up that.
RB can go around, start sweeping up glass, making sure that no mishaps occur.
Narco kind of like smiles at Ren, happy that someone got that.
Ren is here for the worst jokes.
Ren is the best.
Well, Jade, you were saying that if we let even a small piece of this continue, that it will grow back.
Yeah.
Maybe carefully inspect to see if there's any, if the seed is in there, or otherwise if we just want to kind of burn it away down here.
We can definitely do it, but I mean the professor's probably right. Once a seed becomes a tree, the seed is usually gone. I just wasn't sure if maybe pieces of it were left, but it seems like it's the whole tree.
Right.
But we can check just to make sure. And then, I mean, if Seppi's going to cast her hallowed spell, it'll probably cover this whole area anyway. And then by that point, it'll be able to kill it off.
Yeah. Well, just to cover our bases, Nariko will throw up detect magic so that she can see if there's anything radiating magic or void in this little library area.
Putting up detect magic, there is the only thing that pings on your detect magic is this root system. It does give off certainly a void magic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, definitely voids in the root. I would say we're going to have some divine following go out here regardless, but it would probably behoove us to go ahead and try and burn this piece away. Just
Yeah, I mean,
completely.
at least if it's destroyed, it won't have a chance of really coming back.
Yeah. Naruto still doesn't have Firebolt, so.
That's okay. I have more Moonbeam.
Yeah.
Firebolt is the only thing that comes innately on Kitsune, so he can do that.
Okay. Are you looking to get any closer to this thing to inspect it? How deeply are you looking to inspect this? Are you looking to inspect this thing, or are you just see this thing and you're like, nope, burn it with fire?
Well, Naruto saw that when Yuki tried to inspect, she got like whipped, which was not fun.
Hmm.
So,
Yes,
so
you did.
Naruto, her detect magic goes out to 30 feet, so she would stand like 20 feet away. And if all she's getting is the root and the void, and she's not getting any other pings of like anything behind or within the root, she's not going to risk getting much closer to it.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that's all that really comes up on detect magic. But anyone who's in this chamber and kind of watching what's going on, just give me a perception check.
Oh God. Okay. No.
No.
It was almost a 1.
Oh, I was like, no, you rolled a 15.
It's good now. So sometimes these digital dice, they look like they land on one number, but it's not actually that number that comes through. So
Yeah.
I thought it was 1, and it was not.
So keeping your distance, but kind of watching what's going on. I believe everybody spots this. The root system kind of has this like pulsating motion to it,
Ew.
very reminiscent of a heartbeat.
Ew.
Ew.
Hate that.
I don't like that at all.
I need to see it closer.
No.
No.
I need to touch it. Ren, come with me. I'm going to need you to
Oh.
clean this up.
Oh, I have something fucky to do.
Oh, okay.
Well, you and the professor.
Yeah, while the professor gets closer, Joe, I would like to take out this brand new medallion I've got. I'm going to use a charge of it to cast Detect Thoughts.
Ooh.
Ooh. How sad are you gonna be if it's just thinking, I love the air and the sunlight.
I'll be honest,
Tom.
Naruto. If the tree is thinking happy thoughts, Naruto might be willing to be like, wait, let's let Ren get his new spell and try that first before we murder it. But yeah,
Ouchies.
detect thoughts, radius of 30 feet.
Hmm.
The wisdom saving throw is only if I'm trying to like delve into any of the thoughts beyond the surface of what I just naturally
Yeah.
pick up.
So as your detect thoughts come up, it is just like a cacophony of like whispering in an eldritch tongue and like slurping noises and like
Ew.
vacant like wind blowing through, cracks of thunder. If these things are thoughts, it's a bit indiscernible.
Ew. Okay. Naruto looks very, very unhappy as she puts power into this amulet and then starts picking up all the bad static. She's just like, okay, no, whatever the void did to this tree, it is not part of the natural scheme anymore. It,
Professor, you trying to
it's,
touch it?
he's gonna get close and kind of look over it from a visual perspective. Like, does it exhibit any of similar traits to any of the other trees that have been perverted by void magic?
No.
It is different.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have anything that kind of looks like it correlates with any of like the humanoids who have been perverted by void magic or are steeped in it, who are corrupted, as we say?
The humans that you found, it was more of like a mental thing. This feels like a total physical transformation. It feels like when you tried to cast your Void Rift on the twigs and they came to life as twig blights. Feels very similar to that, but on a very much larger scale. And actually, while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and give me a medicine check?
Medicine?
Yes.
That checks out.
It can't help but shake the feeling that this looks like a heart pumping blood that is embedded in the root system.
I'm gonna just. He closes his eyes for a moment, and kind of like this, in his mind's eye, whether it's actually there, he just kind of visualizes the void that's part of him, kind of behind a door, and that door unable to close. It's kind of ajar, and he just sort of pictures himself creaking it open a little bit so that this violet light can kind of wash out into the room of his mind, and he just lets it kind of touch him, so he just lets himself be open to it as he reaches out and just presses a couple fingers to this tree to see if, because it seemed that in the past when they run across beings who manifest the void in different ways, we seem to have some sort of knowing or understanding. And so he's trying to sort of get a better understanding. This is like there's a heart in these roots, but I want to know more. Like, what's the void's role in this? What has the void done to this? Is it just limited to making it into a gross monster tree with heart roots, or what is going on?
So you reach out to touch it, and you kind of like throw yourself into the moment. You hear the whispering inside yourself rise louder, and it kind of drowns out a lot of the other noise that you hear. I need you to give me a charisma saving throw. And okay. You feel it trying to talk to you. But you still it is hard to understand. It feels like it wants something. But and you kind of feel that yearning, but you're not totally able to grasp what it's yearning for.
It's trying to communicate. It wants something. His eyes are kind of like squeezed shut as he's touching this thing, and it's almost like he's listening really intently.
The tree?
It wants to eat you.
I don't know. With that save, can I like sort of insight check that to see if I were to like purposely fail that, would that be catastrophic to my well-being?
Yeah, can I give you a check?
Yeah,
Well,
listen to that
evil
noise.
fucking
And decide.
laugh.
Oh, come on. Do I have a thing? Give me one. Yes, I'm using an inspiration.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
All right.
Hard to tell, Professor, and go either way.
He kind of.
Come on, it's a buddy cop movie we know you could be, man.
He opens his eyes and looks back to everyone and says, "There's something more to this than just hunger, and I don't know. It's trying to communicate. It wants something, without
Yeah,
giving
and
myself over to it."
What do you
so
mean give yourself over
that's what
to it?
that's what Morwynn did, and we saw what happened to her. I would rather not you try and sacrifice us to the tree.
Morwynn came to this thing desperate to save her grove. She was looking for a means to an end. I'm not looking for a means to an end. But there's a piece of the puzzle here somewhere. I just can't help but shake the feeling that this might help suss out that piece. But without Ren's new spell, I don't know if it's a good idea to really delve that deep.
It is not.
It's not.
Well, but wait. We do have a new spell. Sepka's going to work on it. If that new
Right.
spell does what he says it's going to do, and the professor's been fine so far, is it worth the risk if we can get some more answers?
It might be. I would rather wait until we actually had the spell in hand, so that if something bad happens to the professor, we're not left without any means to do something about it.
When something bad happens.
Okay, that's a good point. We could go back and we could seal off this. Well, I mean it's already a door. I guess we could just make sure nothing can get in here, and then come back after we have the spell, and we can test it on Morwynn and see if that helps her. Not that we're testing it and we're going to help her, but just, she's obviously different than she used to be, and the professor isn't.
Not yet. Yeah, I think if we're really set on communing with the void heart here, I would rather wait to do so until we have Ren given the ability to reverse if it turns out whatever it does cause Professor to start acting like Morwynn, as opposed to whatever Professor thinks is going to happen that will be to benefit him.
I am confused. What are the potential benefits here?
If we know what it's after, we might be able to stop it from getting it, or send it back where it came from without having anyone else get hurt. Understanding it might be a good thing.
And feeding the professor to it will give us this information because...
Well, it hasn't attacked the professor. It hasn't attacked anyone down here yet.
Yet.
And
But it did up top. It attacked Yuki right away.
It does no longer have the things with which it can attack.
Sepkha said he got sucked up into the roots.
Mm.
And if it makes you feel any better, even if it did have some sort of means of controlling my mind, which I really don't think it can, I don't have anything I could for it to use against you. I can't cast spells other than...
Plus, we'll be bringing Sephi with us because she has to cast the Hallowed spell anyway.
Once again, why are we arguing so much to feed someone to this tree?
We're not feeding anyone to it. He's just going to talk to it, right?
And we're not arguing to feed the tree. We're arguing to get information from a place that we're going to have limited opportunity to get. This information is not going to come from anywhere else. We're not going to be able to just walk into any city, town, or countryside, any house or school and just be able to ask or read anything about this. This is void stuff. This stuff isn't anywhere. The only way we can learn about this is from the people and things that it touches. And if we just annihilate all of it as we go along, we're never going to learn anything.
We are sacrificing the professor as an interrogation technique. Okay.
I mean, we'll all be here, and I mean, you saw what Sepkha did, and he was half eaten by a tree. If we bring Sephi here, I doubt Professor will even get caught it eaten by the tree.
Hmm.
Or we could see if it'll talk to Jeffrey.
Yes, why don't we do that?
Jeffrey can't really talk to you, though.
I am less enthusiastic about that idea, even.
All right.
Not for
Leave.
nothing against Jeffrey. It's just that when I tried to talk to him, he only could show me pictures, and it's kind of hard to interpret his pictures.
That's because you just have to know what to look for.
I don't sometimes.
But I do.
But I
It's
agree
all
with
right.
Marco.
It's
I
all
don't
right.
think letting Jeffrey talk to the heart tree is a good idea.
Leave the tree alone. We'll get the spell and return. I
Yeah,
think that there's something here, and even if there isn't something here of new knowledge that we can gather from here, at least we will get some knowledge in that things like this are safe to remove, and they will give nothing to us. At least we'll know that we're not leaving any stones unturned.
That's true. I agree with the professor.
I think, if only because we've done so much to prune away its methods of harming us for the moment,
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to take a little more time and resources to let Professor do his communion. And if nothing else, if it goes poorly, at least we know for sure that we're barking up the wrong tree.
Right. Cross off all of our options, and then we have only the one left. And we'll have the spell with us, and we'll have Sephi with us, and just make it as safe as possible for the professor to talk to the heart tree. The heart in the tree roots, because the tree.
And then fix them afterwards.
Right, and then fix them after. Well, Ren could do that part because we're not able to. Only Ren can do that.
Fine, as long as we stop the tree puns for a brief period of time, let us go. Get our
What puns?
spell and do whatever. Never mind, Jade.
Oh, okay.
I'll root them out for you later.
Okay.
I roll.
Right. Well, with this plan, we should probably also prepare to have to fight the tree again. If what Jade has to say is true, it grows back, even if it's a couple days. We don't know how long it's going to take to get that spell.
That's true. But my moonbeam worked really good on it. And I can cast that from real far away. So we could just do that if we need to.
All right. Then I guess we leave the heart tree alone for now.
Yeah.
Are there other things here?
3-ish days for it to really start to grow again, but I don't know if the void is going to alter that at all, because it's not really a normal Golthius tree anymore.
Well, I grew a monster from a stick in a matter of less than a second, so it could be back this afternoon.
Maybe, but there's nobody here to feed it.
Yeah.
At least nobody to feed it people.
Fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. And all the animals seem to be leaving this place alone for a bit. So.
If you don't like the risk of the tree coming back, Professor, then it would behoove us to remove this last piece now. So,
I don't want to risk losing any potential leads.
Then we'll have to hope for the best in this case.
Yeah.
We've stunted its growth enough to not be an issue when we return.
And if it is, I will set it on fire. And then we'll be able to talk to it. I'm sure it won't be mad. I can't see, it doesn't have eyes, so well no, it's me doing that. So should we head back to Edmay then and talk to Safi and Sepkha, and we might be able to catch up to him, actually.
Sure.
Unless you want to look at some of the books that are still left here.
Yeah, that and a quick scan of the other rooms for anything magical that might have been left behind. But
Sure.
investigation.
All right.
Find all the things.
Yeah,
This is a note. This is my big evil plan.
I'll just give you a group investigation check.
No, that one was actually bad.
No.
It's okay. Narco the professor got this one on lock. Oh, Yuki too. Look at
Ren is still annoyed.
that. Ren is very much like you guys are all dumb, and I don't
Yes.
know why you don't listen to me.
It's all right. So with
I know Jade is dumb, so it's fine.
helping each other out,
No.
combing this place around.
Keep listening to her.
There are no magical items to be found down here, and most of the books that you find are history or kind of not so much stories, but I guess theories and other such things. About the old kingdom of Falorum.
You're fading in and out for me.
Oh, sorry. Is this any better?
Okay, good. I thought it was just me.
Is this any better?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
So, what you find are books about an old kingdom named Falorum that used to exist in this region. It was a peaceful kingdom of gnomes, halflings, humans, dwarves, and elves. Um, they existed for a while, and eventually, as the area got rough, they were kind of defeated by a nomadic group of orcs way back in the day. But this library was kind of preserved underground to preserve its history, and orcs, not being the type to really read all that much, kind of left it alone. Other books that you find are kind of writings about the Feywild. There are books that talk about the Archfey Nintra Siyada, who was the Queen of Shadowglass, had a kind of bitter rivalry with Mab, the Queen of Winter. Um, Things about of that nature, how this Archfey tried to manipulate the human population into thinking that she was some kind of god, and of course Mab took exception to that, and there was all that conflict going on. You do also find books about a certain Archfey who named Titania, who was the Summer Queen. Find some stories about her and uh, how she ran the Summer Court, a name you may or may not be familiar with, given that the name of the current Summer Queen is not Titania.
From a certain point of view, Titania is still the Summer Queen.
True.
From the wrong point of view, thank you, darling.
From the point of view of loopholes.
Yeah, so those are the types of things that you find down here.
Don't argue with her. It's her birthday.
You are lucky I like you. You know what? Just for that, I'll have something special for you later.
Interesting. Some amount of these books are going into Naruko and Ren's suitcase and bag of holding, respectively.
Score books.
More books, more books. None of them seem to be immediately relevant to our interests, but they're neat. So we will donate them to a happy library somewhere.
Excellent. All right.
Yep. If that's all there is to find, then we can start our march back to Edney with what we've discovered.
All right. So, if there are no other suggestions, if there's nothing else anyone else is looking to achieve whilst you are here for the moment, the group marches back to Edmay. We'll start gathering tokens. If you have any fireside chats or anything you'd like to have along the way, please feel free to engage. Oh no, I grabbed the tree.
Yeah.
Why is not coming back?
Tree's coming.
Things you don't expect to hear in therapy.
You don't even know.
Oh, I've been muted. Tree just follows us like a little puppy, kind of thing. Jade will talk to Aura on our walk back. Just, Aura, you've been pretty quiet since Sepkha kind of talked with us and healed everybody and everything, and we decided not to burn the rest of the tree. What do you think about it all? Are you okay? Oh, Aura BRB'd. Oh, okay, I just saw that. Never mind. So that happens. We'll talk about it when she comes back.
All right.
I was getting more drinks.
Yeah. Okay. So the walk back to Edbay is uneventful. You pass through the grove. You easily can avoid the snakes that were camping out by Morwynn's tent and are still doing so.
As we pass by again, just as on our way back, my detect magic is up again. Now that we're able to.
Mhm.
Am I getting any void anything at all on the way back?
No.
Not even from the snakes.
Nope.
Okay, so just gonna relay that to the group as we tiptoe our way past. It says snakes are still not all void magic-y. I think they might just be giant snakes that might be Morwynn is friends with.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Good to know they didn't suddenly gain void stuff when we weren't looking. Yeah.
Nope, they're just regular snakes, and they're still regular snakes, and they weren't hiding anything. It's all good, and they're still sleeping, and I hope they're okay, but they seem like they're fine. And I'm not getting any other void magic at all, anywhere, as we're walking so far, right now. So, might just be that one spot.
I mean, considering it's a root with a heartbeat in it, it definitely seems like the sort of thing that could, over time, spread void around it. And it definitely was for some of those creatures that Morwynn was gathering around it.
Definitely.
Okay.
So it's going to take about an hour to get back. And we were checking the library for everything. Norika, does that book that we found that she said she found that seed in, does that have any other information?
You can read it along the way if you like.
Yeah, I don't have it in my handouts. I don't know.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't create a handout for it yet. Well, I have I have a handout. I just didn't distribute it yet.
Gotcha.
So we actually didn't read it.
Right. But if you want to read it along the way, you can.
Sure. She scanned through it the previous time, but she'll repeat. She'll read aloud for the benefit of the party the salient details.
All right. Well, here you go.
Whoa. Ooh, damn.
Meanwhile, I'll move you all to Head Bay. Oh god, the new map system. It's so nice. It takes a second because I'm like, oh wait, this isn't what I'm used to.
Kind of like when you have everything that you click on your desktop normally, so you kind of just got used to just heading back to it and then moving the mouse to the spot and clicking, and then it's like, oh wait, I have files now.
Yep.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, apparently books are my vehicle for distributing lore in this campaign.
I like it.
Bro, same.
That's
Like,
because
not
we
for
read
nothing.
them.
I like the idea of books being the thing that gives us lore, because that, one, it's also not just like somebody talking at us for a bit, but also it lets us read it at our own time and we get to interpret it.
And then, like, I'm not super great at, like, remembering everything all the time, but, like, if I've thought about something, I can go back and read it, and I'll be like, wait, did we do that thing with the stuff? Because I can just find it myself. She who is not good at taking notes.
Oh, good. I'm glad this worked
Don't
out.
worry, I have 100 and some pages of notes for you if you need them.
Yes.
Damn it. Come back here.
Yep. So Narco, after finishing that out, says, "So I'm going to put another tally in the column of the void generally not being very healthy for our reality. I think that's a fair assessment to make with this evidence. Yes."
I mean, it
Reasonable, I
doesn't
suppose.
sound good. What are you saying, Ren? I'm sorry.
Ren says that is reasonable.
This also, these symbols I've seen before on the puzzle box, which seem to show this creation, and then further goes on to show the mark of hunger appearing within each of the spheres and then overtaking them.
I'm a little confused then. I mean, not really. I don't disagree with you, Noriko. I don't want you to think that's what I mean. It's just, if this book is right, then who is the Whisperer?
Well,
Is it actually a god that got locked away in the void and it's trapped there?
there could have been an original force or progenitor in the void that was the hunger that the others locked there. It could have been some other creature that was banished into the void, but was not did not come apart and instead took on the mantle of the Whisperer and is using the void's natural tendencies to further their own agenda.
So you don't think it's a good thing that's trapped there?
I would like to think that if it was a good and kind being that was trapped there, as soon as it was opening means for itself to create a portal, it would take its escape and would not be using methods that would be causing so much harm to the people native to these worlds. It's also possible that something that was once good, if this plane is dominated by a feeling of overwhelming hunger, I can certainly say there's no shortage of stories of people being driven to do desperate and terrible things when driven by such needs.
If it is something like that, do you think we could help it?
Currently, not without more or less feeding over all of creation to it.
Okay, I'm going to put a no on that one. But what if the spell that that Sepka's going to do works? Do you think it'd be worth trying?
I
On
think
a
it's
grander
definitely
scale, maybe?
maybe, but It would depend on what the actual mechanism of the spell is. For example,
That's right.
if it seems to be divine in origin, if Ren is able to wield it, but it was more or less 6 progenitor gods, which I can only assume if each one of them was able to create an entire world on their own, is a level of divinity above even all the gods that we currently know to exist. 6 of them teamed up, and the best they could do was fence in the void. I don't know if we would ever be able to do much more than that ourselves. The clavis, for example, was a focusing object that the most powerful mages of an era of of primal magic, where they were able to command levels of magic that we don't have access to now. Once again, the most they could do was pass out what had come through and seal the leak.
That's true too.
There were things left behind that they still had to spend time and effort to clean up.
Well, then I guess we'll see what the future holds for us as we figure things out.
It is entirely in our interest to pursue this research and to create as powerful a version of this spell as possible. I just don't know if our end result will be able to match what you hope for, Jade.
Maybe not, but if we are able to use the spell and it does work, and we can help people and free them from the corruption, and we can get more people who can do it, then maybe we don't need a god that's powerful or a group. We just need a group of really good magical users who are gonna fight for the right thing. And maybe that won't be now, and maybe that'll be a ways off. But that's something to try to fight towards, yeah?
Naturally.
That way it won't happen again. And or at least if it does happen again, next generations will be much more prepared for it and be able to use what we start here for good things instead of having to be afraid all the time. And you're really smart, and the professor's writing a whole book, so we'll be able to tell everyone about it. People who can read, anyway. Probably schools, mostly. Well, that's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well.
So let's see if we can get the spell form working and do our first test drive.
Yeah, I hope we can help Morwynn. Ren, how do you feel about that?
Which part?
Being maybe potentially the only person right now who can do that.
It seems I was brought back from the dead to fulfill a purpose. I'm glad to know what that purpose is.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Narco just nods and thinks to herself, Ren is very, very similar to a lot of the constructs I've worked on. That is reassuring in some ways and concerning in others.
So, the party makes their way back to Edme. Takes about an hour. You probably arrive there about an hour behind Sepkha does. Are you making your way straight to the Starlight Tavern to arrive?
Oh, hell yeah.
Alright. This is the part where I asked Suzanne if she would like to take Sephi. Alright. So as our party enters the Starlight Tavern, I would first like to ask Is Z there at the moment?
I think Z is going to be in her workshop. I think she's going to be kind of getting her brews ready. I don't think she's going to be in the tavern right now.
Okay. Z's at the brewery. As the party enters, I would like to know, what are Sepka and Sephi currently doing as you now have this distraught druid in your tavern?
Seppi is
Making out.
kind of just clicking her tongue. Sepka, listen, it's not that I didn't like you when we first met and you smelled a little moldy and musty and stuff, but it's not really a state I want you to return to so very quickly. What are we going to do about her?
Well, she's very upset because her forest is afflicted by something that the venturers were calling the void. So I figured I would take her back here, give her, I don't know, a cupcake maybe. Help her feel better a bit while we fix what's happening to her forest. I don't know. I'm great with curses and things. This is a little more extreme than my usual wheelhouse. You're out in the woods a lot more than me. I figured you might know what to say to get her out of the funk.
Yeah. Hi, Morwynn. Are you feeling any better after a cupcake?
You see, she's kind of like sitting in front of this cupcake and she's watching it. She has not bitten into it. And she says, "Oh, yes, much better. May I return now?"
No, I think you can stay with us for a little while. We're a little worried about your general well-being, and, as much as I like you, you did try to feed my husband to a tree, and, I'm not really going to forget that very soon, so you need to just stay here with us for a little while.
I understand.
I mean, no hard feelings.
You said that, not me.
To err is human, to forgive divine.
Oh, not that again.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
Yeah, so this is what the party walks in on.
Yeah, they do. Oh, they're back! Sepka, they made it! Not that I ever
See, I
doubted
told
you.
you. They would be fine.
I'm sure. Did you find anything?
Hello. We found a tree heart.
What?
Yeah.
A heart?
It was like
Well,
the roots of the tree, but it was also a heart of the
that.
tree. Very confusing.
Yeah, that's natural.
No, but the professor wants to try to talk to it. And before we let him do that, we really wanted to have you and that spell handy that might help in case the professor tries to get eaten by the void.
You want to have a heart-to-heart with the tree heart. Did I get that right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess. Maybe that's how you want to handle it. I mean, you sure? I mean, I can do some things. Like, I can make the whole world shake, and earthquakes happen, and I mean, I could help. Of course, I could just do the Halloween thingamajigger. Yeah, I could do that too. I guess. Stupid tree.
Oh, that is kind of why we wanted you with us, just in case. Because we don't really want the tree to grow back. Because it's not really supposed to be here, and also it's kind of scary. It got all void stuff in it. And we thought you would be able to be great to help in case something goes wrong before we can get all the information we need.
I mean, sure, I'll certainly try.
That'd be great. How is
I wonder if
Morwynn?
that'll help out Morwynn. She's really not very responsive. She doesn't even want to try a cupcake, which is crazy because they're like super sugary.
They were really good, And I don't even have to eat, and I would like more of those.
Thanks. Sepka's the real genius, okay? Sometimes he just observes me when I'm trying to make stuff. He doesn't know that I know, but he sneaks and he adds more stuff when I turn my back. It's okay, though. He does good stuff.
They were really good, whoever made them with things that are sugar.
He has amazing skills.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I touched him
You're
on
the
the
one
knee
saying
on
that
purpose.
that people shouldn't give me compliments or I'll get a big ego.
You already have a big ego, so I'm allowed to give you a few small compliments.
Love you too.
I said, are we saying I love you in a wrong way? No? Okay. I don't know if getting rid of the tree will help Morwynn, but that spell might. We're hoping it will.
Yeah, that makes sense. I hope it'll help. Sepka was telling me a little bit about it. I don't fully understand, but Death Domain isn't really my thing, like, at all. I'm very more like naturey things stuff. But I hope it works.
Professor might be able to explain it better.
I can't do that either. He gestures to Ren like, "Hey, Ken."
Why do you motherfuckers hate me?
Because
How would you get
we love you, and this is so cute.
Hey, give me a second. This is a lot harder than switching between Bell and Suzume. Alright, give me a second. I can do this. Alright. From what I understand, the spell deals specifically with isolating elements of the corruption and removing them. It seems, based on our readings, that that is the path the Elder Gods had taken as well. Essentially, we are putting the corruption in its own location, away from other entities.
Oh, yeah, just have the girls sometimes. They don't really like it, but it really helps them improve if they've been acting a little lady sometimes. It happens. They're growing up. They're getting much better now, though.
Yes? Yes. But that is what we are intending to do once Sepka is able to help us translate the scroll and make it more accessible for current times.
Good at that. He says that he can study very well, but he knows a whole bunch. He loves to keep his collection of scrolls, and he loves to keep all of his information with him. It's really adorable, honestly. But he'll be able to help. I have no doubt of that.
Hey, come on, am I done talking to myself?
Let Joe, how much progress has Sepka made on scroll translation?
I'd say it won't take him long. Take about an hour, so he could have it done by now.
Cool. Sepka proceeds to pull open the scroll copy that he made and says, "Yes, indeed. I have for you here a gift that hopefully will solve all of your problems forever."
That was even faster than I thought it would be.
Sepka handing over the scroll. Ren, are you taking it?
Yes, of course Red's taking it. This was his chosen reason for coming back to, life.
Life. Existence, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Professor, to answer your question, clerics know all the spells that are that they can know. They prepare them on a daily basis. However, this being a plot-centric spell,
Divine intervention.
the
I love
answer
it.
the answer is yes.
Listen, Thanatos said he wanted him to have this, so now he fucking has this.
So
God came down and said, "I'm doing a homebrew. Don't question it, bro."
don't question the logic, or everything falls apart.
This is a very special one that the gods gave him directly.
Well, I'm good to know I don't have to quell my character's excitement over it.
Which means Professor's about to touch a whole lot more void stuff.
No, please do
yeah.
not do that.
Oh, he's definitely going to. Did you
You
hear
have
that
a
excitement?
divine purpose, and it is my purpose to make sure that you do it.
It's basically him
That's
taking a
what
chemical
I'm saying.
shower. He takes the chemical
That's
shower
not
and I
how
can
it
touch the
works.
chemicals. Fine.
It would be a
Professor-
sin for me not to help you do this.
No.
All Professor heard was, "Oh, look, there doesn't have to be consequences to my poor decisions." Isn't that good?
For now.
Right. So, Ren, Sepka hands over the spell, and as you take a look at it, the writing that is etched on this scroll glows with a golden light reflected in your eye holes, I guess.
Glowing sockets.
Sure.
Sure.
So you will receive one second level spell scroll that has this spell on it. At the same time, you also learn it. I'm going to try to do something real fast here and see if it works.
I can't wait.
Da-da-da-da. Let's see if it worked the way I intended it to. Oh, perfect. I think it did.
Remove corruption. I
It
got
did.
it.
There you go. So now you
Alright.
have it.
I
So now you have it in your spell, in your spells. It should be one of those ones that's always prepared, so it should not take up any. You always have it prepared, so it doesn't go against the number of spells you can have prepared.
Awesome.
It is a standard level 2 spell that you can cast, and you also have a spell scroll that you can cast it from. So you basically have one free casting of it.
Got a freebie of it. Awesome. Okay, so Ren's eyes kind of like shimmer gold as he's acquiring this spell. And he goes, I understand. It's a deep sigh. All right, Professor, I am able to remove corruption.
He just grins at him, like, congratulations, you have taken us in a step towards a world where we don't have to win by violence alone. And that means so much.
I've taken a step towards constantly cleaning after a red-haired fox-eared toddler. That's what I've taken a step towards. Good thing I have 4 hooves.
You said it, I didn't.
Hmm.
And I mean, if you can do I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but if you can do what we believe that you can do now, that means there's a potential for learning so much more. Not just like learning to know a thing, but learning to do a thing. Like, if we understand how this works, if we can remove the corruption from someone, so if we were able to do this, maybe that talk with Rockamera would have gone so much differently.
Perhaps.
And for the Rockamiras in the future, this is good. And I know it's not in your nature to be excited about anything but apples, but you could be excited about this because this is really, really exciting.
Ren does look over at Morwynn and takes a few steps towards her and kind of crouches down a little bit to get to her level. May I try something to ease your pain?
She kind of looks up at you and she says, I don't really have a choice, do I?
I do not want it to be that way. This is not a situation of life and death. But if you permit me, I would like to help you.
She just kind of looks around the room at everyone who is like staring expectantly, and she looks back up at you, Ren, and she gives a single quick nod.
Ren will take her hand gently and cast Remove Corruption on her.
As you do so, you see she kind of takes a breath in, a long, deep breath. Her eyes become a little brighter, and she kind of blinks, and she looks up at you, Ren, and she looks at Sepka and Sephi, and she kind of frowns a bit, and she says, "Oh gosh, what have I done?"
Seems to have worked.
You got cursed by ancient magics from another dimension and tried to feed me to a tree. No, the usual.
It was
It got better.
so weird. It was like I knew I was doing it, and I could see myself doing it, and I wanted to do it, but I don't. I don't now.
Mm.
I
Ren
heard
will like slowly and quietly trot away.
voices. I heard whispering. It wanted me to keep feeding this growth, and it promised me it would return life back to my grove.
Yes.
Huh?
Narco raises a hand. Yes, and we saw what sort of life it was bringing back. It definitely wasn't the grove that you envisioned, I'm imagining, right?
No, it wasn't. It was like I could feel it. I could feel its presence in that library, and it wanted to see the light. So I planted it. And as it grew, though, my grove got sicker, and I tried to commune with the trees and with nature, and I see it now that the more I tried to commune with that tree, the more it spoke to me, and the more it made me want to let it grow stronger. I tried to heal it, but it was turning me instead, I guess.
Narco ponders, says, considering what we've seen the void do, it wouldn't be out of the question that the tree was leeching magic from Morwynn, both to feed its own growth and to create an absence with which it could replace with the void and bring her further under its sway.
It felt like a blight. It felt like a blight that I could remove, and the more I tried to remove it, the more I tried to take it inside of me to purify the land. The land didn't get better, and I got worse. It was a strange thing. It was a strange sensation. It convinced me it was Maliki.
And how do you feel about the situation now? Do you still feel that pull to do as it wants?
I hear the voices still, but I am no more compelled to feed it. It is a good thing you brought me here. I don't think I should go back until it is gone.
That's good. And it might be that Ren may need to do that casting another time or two in order to fully remove those whispers from your mind.
She looks up at Ren, and she gently kind of like reaches a hand up to kind of touch your skull face. And she smiles a bit and she says, "Thank you."
You are welcome.
She looks at the rest of you and she says, "And I'm sorry for what happened. It's not what I want."
And we're only glad that we had the chance to stop you from doing something that you would have regretted. Were you in your right mind?
She nods and kind of sits back a bit.
Professor, is Morwynn's testimony enough to give you the insights you wanted on what exactly our tree heart desires?
It's certainly a good insight. If you're asking if that's enough to forego communing with it, then no, not really.
Wait, you actually want to
It's
talk to that thing?
That's what he does.
We're here fighting this thing, and it's my firm belief that in order to do this in a way that is meaningful rather than futile, we need to understand it. You need to know what you're fighting, otherwise you do nothing but fight all day long, every day for the rest of your lives. It's fight. But if we get to learn to know it, and this, he holds up a hand, like almost defensively, like what you've gone through is very difficult, and my heart goes out to you. That must have been so hard to contend with. But it's still only secondhand information.
You would do well not to underestimate it then. It is insidious. It will make you think.
Underestimate.
Go on.
Underestimating it is not one of our things. Not really something we do, but I do have to note the difference in our experiences. See, like you, I've been touched by the void, and I've experienced its effects, lasting effects. However, for me, it's not impacted my mind or my ability to make cognitive decisions or affected what I want. At least not outwardly, not in a way that we've been able to measure or even notice. So the fact that you've had such a vastly different effect from my own leads me to believe that we do need to learn more, especially if there's something that we can learn from the very thing that caused this effect on you. Why is it different for you than me? What makes me different? What makes us all different? How are we affected by the void differently?
I'm not sure we are very different. I was like you at one point. I was curious. I wanted to see what happened. It promised me things. It would give me things. It would make me want to learn more. It would make me want to use it more. But once it knew it had me where it wanted me, that's when it started, the whispers became clearer. Its meaning became clearer, and it is... And she looks at Sepkha and back to you, and she says, not pleasant.
No, of course not. Well, luckily, we have something that you didn't at the time, unfortunately for you. We have a God-given Void eraser! Right here! Skullface! He touched you!
Sepkha mostly given it,
No.
translated it.
I wouldn't call it an eraser. Not yet.
He'll figure it out. Joking aside, though, there are things to learn. And if we can't learn them from those who learn the hard way, then we're going to have to learn the hard way ourselves, and we really can't afford that.
I will warn you again. It is insidious. And it will not take you until... you will not realize it has taken you until you've already too far gone.
Of course. You know, I'm curious. While you were under the effects, it's been documented by ourselves that this thing, the void, wants to reach out and spread out about the world. Past your grove, past your trees and yourself, did you find yourself wanting for more?
I only wanted my tree to grow.
It seems that it latched on to your baser desires and enhanced on those, which is good. Good in this instance. How long had it been? He doesn't want to completely declare that I read your diary, but he wants to hear how long have you been under the influence?
I'd say it's been about 2 weeks. Since... And she looks at Sepkha and Sephi and she says, since the last time I was in town was the last time I felt myself.
It's for about as long as we have. Right. It's good to know. Well, without being able to quantify exactly how much of the void's corruption was within you, this testimony would tell us lots. Perhaps maybe you did get more of it than I have, and that's why it started to change how you start to think of things. Hell, you know what? And he looks around and is like, how about me? Do me next. Don't completely just cast it once, not more than once. Because I feel entirely like my mind has been untouched. But casting that on Morwynn, she immediately knew that she was influenced. And now I am curious to know, am I really so weak-willed as to... And he kind of looks over his shoulder at Morwynn, like, no offense. But I like to think I'm pretty clever and that I would know. But you really don't know until you know. So help me know if I knew what I know that I didn't know, but probably knew and would like to know. Not quite sure I know, but chill, I know. You gotta help me know.
Morwynn looks a little bit confused, and she leans up to Ren, and she says, does he always talk like this?
No, usually talks quite a bit faster and with quite a bit more nonsense.
I have never uttered a word of nonsense in my life. Just because you don't understand it doesn't make it nonsense.
I understand it.
You hear a snicker from Z.
He almost jumps hearing Z's voice, not realizing that she had come in, and then just like, I do the clever stuff, you do the Healy stuff. We are a good team, that's why we're the best of friends.
Well, regardless, I will rain on your parade and inform you that I can only cast a spell one more time today without aid of the scroll, which I would like to save for a different rainy day. So if you are insisting on communicating with that heart today, I propose we wait.
No, not today. I'd like to get some rest myself. Turns out that pulling your own spirit out of your body to fight for you really takes a bit out of you.
Very well, then if we will have time to rest, then yes, I will cast a spell upon you. You're quite certain you want to try this?
Light me up, big boy.
I'm gonna walk over and tap the professor in the middle of the forehead.
I was going to say, please tell me the
Something to
somatic component for Professor specifically is to, like, dope slap him.
Be amazing. Professor, how many points are you at currently?
10.
You are now down to 5.
Jesus.
Okay.
And you can interpret this however you feel the professor would, but the bane effect that is currently on your non-void spell attacks and saving throws is no longer in effect.
He seems almost like his chest kind of lurch outwards. It's like, as his eyes like widen, and he just drops to his knees, and he starts to shake, and he's like, "Oh my god, where are we? Who are you?"
What?
Ren's just regarding him.
Professor, are
I'm
you
fucking-
okay?
I'm fucking around. He gets up and kind of dusts off his jacket and says, "Hey, it's like I can breathe. I can."
Jade throws a
No.
cupcake wrapper at the professor.
Don't
he-
do that!
He chuckles and he's just like,
It's not
Well.
funny!
"Sorry, it was a little bit funny." I have to say, it doesn't disappoint, Ren. I can feel lighter. It's like if you, maybe you don't, but consider this. If you see a bowl of water with oil spread about it, and the oil and water doesn't mix, so the oil sits at the top. If you reach into the bowl and pull your hand out, along with the water, the oil is going to be all over your hand. And that's what it's felt like for me since the beginning, is this oil, this some sort of slick something on my hands, keeping me from grasping the weave and really holding it tight. And it's like Ren just came along and washed my hands. And he kind of wiggles his fingers and says, "If only I had a spell book to use." And he kind of laughs nervously and says, "But I can assure you that, as to the purpose of this casting today, my mind is as it was but a moment ago." Which, he puts a hand to his chest like, "Thank the gods, I would be really embarrassed if I was wrong about that."
I mean, you could thank Ren, because Ren's the one who actually did it.
It is the god's
Oh, yeah.
powers that power me. Thanks, Thanatos.
Not really.
Most
will-
definitely.
Give Xanatos my
Yeah.
regards when I see him next, but Xanatos wasn't the one who agreed to do this. It was you, Ren. So thank you.
Yes. After a great deal of persuasion from your foolishness.
Hmm.
Don't worry,
Well,
we're all
get
going
used to
girls
that.
down
Because now we know there's a way out.
here. Oh. May I propose a different experiment for some point in time in the future?
Oh, what do you have in mind?
What if we were to try the spell on Jeffrey?
Would you like to fry him alive and listen to him scream while he rips the very shred of happiness he might have after the time I tried to light his spell on fire. Just, I mean, if you want to, you can, but I don't think it's a good idea because that thing is void incarnate, and you want to remove the void from him. I think you might disperse him, and I can't bring him back.
I would not wish to harm your friend, Professor, but I do worry about his own corruption.
Jeffrey's not corrupted, he's just Jeffrey. He can't help what he is.
Of
Yes,
course.
I believe the corruption, and he does the air quotes, for Jeffrey is just existence, and you have a right to be concerned about his effect on this world. I'm trying very hard to keep that effect minimalized and keep him safe at the same time.
Yuki will kind of speak up and say, well, point of order. If the void corruption, and she does the air quotes, is what happens when the void touches others, people, and things that had not had the void in them. If Jeffrey is made of the void, he isn't corruption or corrupted. He is just void. No?
Yeah, but we don't know what that kind of spell would do to him if he's made of the very thing you're trying to get rid of.
Oh, I'm not saying to do the spell. I'm just saying that I don't think he's corruption. I don't know. I'm trying to just work it out that I don't know.
Yuki raises a point in that the Jeffrey may just not be a valid target for the spell at all in terms of how it affects void energies.
It was just a thought. Ren will turn to Yuki. I am aware that you have some corruption as well. Permit me to rest. I will be happy to remove yours also.
Yuki will kind of pale a little, not trying to make that huge news and try not to keep it on the DL, but she's that would be very nice, but it's not causing me harm right now, so please, if there's others more in need, I can wait.
I appreciate your generous spirit. I know that when we were both hit with that corruption, it was upsetting for us both.
Yes. Since then, I'm trying to find the balance between having within me what we're trying to rid the world of and what the meaning of it all is. So I do not mind sitting with it for a little while longer. I feel it is a valuable exercise of my... And she's kind of waffling for words, and she says, mind and religion.
Your strength is commendable, and I appreciate your generosity of time and spirit. I will do my best to remove it from you as soon as possible.
Yuki will smile, and she will say, I know you will. So, what now?
Well, Ren will need some time to rest and regain his power. When he does so, we can set back off for the library with Sephi's assistance to let Professor run his last experiment on the heart, after which I suspect we are going to be removing it and hallowing the area to prevent any recurrence.
Unless you want a Golthius tree in your grove, but probably not that one.
No, I don't want a Golthius tree in my grove.
Oh, I mean, it's not a tree.
It is a vampiric tree. It feeds on blood.
Well, does it make it not a nice tree? It just makes it a different tree.
Perhaps in
Really,
another
really
environment.
great trying to protect something.
Perhaps in another environment it would do better, but not here.
Yeah, probably not.
It's also worth noting that this is a void version of that tree, and it's probably going to find ways of spreading that.
Yeah, no, I meant if she wanted another tree like that, I could get her another tree like that, but
Oh yeah, if you absolutely.
not that particular tree.
Preferably not the type that feeds on blood.
They all kind of do that.
Oh, well, I will
That's
have
just
to,
that type of tree that is.
I'll have to politely decline your offer then.
Oh, okay. In case you did like the tree, I could get you one that doesn't whisper to you in the middle of the night, probably.
I appreciate the thought.
Okay.
You should replace it with a moon apple tree. Those things make lovely pies.
So,
I've never had a moon apple tree before.
I shall look this up.
Moon apple trees are also not native to this environment.
Nope.
Nope.
Never heard of an apple tree being an invasive species, but you never know.
You never know. It comes with a very strange beetle. That's a problem.
Oh god.
Ren is about to be an invasive species to the apple tree if he finds it.
So now we know what to get for Ren for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
For Saints Day.
Yeah. You've read The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Here's the Very Hungry Death Star.
Just Ren and a bunch of kobolds laying unconscious underneath an apple tree, just drunk on
Ren.
fermented apples.
Amazing.
They're best friends.
But they're happy.
Such good friends now.
The fucking image.
Well, we know what Ren's afterlife is. Just a bunch of kobolds and an apple tree.
Just
That
a bunch of
fucking
kobolds
bitch.
return to their tribe. They're drunk as a skunk. They're like, we met a horseman with a skull for a head. Everyone's like, oh yeah, fucking sleep it off, Jeff.
Zume's like, yeah,
Man.
okay, let's get you to bed.
No, you don't understand. He was huge.
No, if it's the stolen land, then that's actually totally believable.
And he was really sassy.
Suzume's like, I might like this centaur with a skull face. Funny.
So anywho, so by this point we're looking at like mid-afternoon. So you have the rest of the day to relax, do as you please. The Starlight Tavern is always stocked with wonderful food and baked delights and brews from Z.
Which reminds me, I think our original tourist plan for the day, when we were just going to wait for Sepkha, was to do a quick tour and taste testing of Z's brewery.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, we
Unless the
totally...
professor wants to do a private taste testing, in which case we can wait.
Ew.
That's for tonight
Ew.
after hours.
Hello.
You gotta pay extra for that tour.
It's always good to pay extra. Let's get it. Just means you have to.
I thought you were on a break.
And then you got break.
I am on a break, but she's fucking not.
Poor Nessa is like, God, Jill, are you on a break again?
Yeah. This is my
When-
break.
Always see our top earner.
When exactly do you work if you're always on break?
I run this place, so you know.
You absolutely do not. Cal runs this place. Try again.
Not seen the paperwork, have you? Oh my gosh, that's so fun for you later. We'll do that later because that'll be fun for you.
Sure will. Until then,
But
how about
yeah,
you
I'm
go
on the break.
earn some money? Good? Yeah? Great. Thanks, bye.
Bye. Are you on break too? She just
No.
walks away. Casual just like hangs out.
Nessa just
Ouch.
gets back to work.
Exactly, Cuddles. You get it.
Oh, I miss
Cadro
Cuddle.
just steals all the tips that Cuddles makes because Cuddles has no concept of money being valuable.
Yep.
How
She
is that all your
does
characters, Neville?
trade him things for the money though.
Yeah, you
Mostly like stuff she needs.
smelly
to eat.
socks and
Dirty pants.
half-eaten pies.
Exactly. Does he like them?
Yes.
Fair trade.
They are chemicals.
Yeah.
So the idea is brought up of having Z lead our group on a tour of flights of a brew flight.
Sure.
How does Z feel
Well,
about that?
Z will do it. Yeah, she's down.
Everyone make a con save.
Guess which ones are alcoholic and which ones aren't.
Jade doesn't fucking know.
Ren came because he was promised there would be something apple derived.
Yeah, I've got cider.
Yeah.
I got cider.
Hell yeah.
Alcoholic and non-alcoholic, because they don't play.
Z don't play like that.
Z don't play. So Z will lead you to the brewery. I mean, we could just yada yada this unless you guys want to actually play it all out. It's up to you.
It's up to you, Brewmaster.
It's not up to me.
It absolutely is up to you.
Yep. It is. We all agreed that it
makes
was.
me make choices.
Roll a dice.
I know. I'm literally.
Rollies.
Literally.
I can't make any choice.
All right.
If you don't want to, we can yada yada it. And
Yeah,
then
if you don't want to. If you don't want to, we don't have
yeah, it's seriously, like, fucking around aside, like, if you would rather just say, like, yeah, we did it, and you already gave us your list of stuff, and that's what happened, and then later that evening, we're back at the tavern, it's fine.
That's an 18. Y'all are getting a tour.
to.
Saddle up.
So as you guys as Z gets ready to head you off, Morwynn's going to elect to stay back, but Rory will come up to Sepkha and Sephi and be like, yeah, so Z's inviting everyone to the brewery. We're gonna head over.
All right. Take your sissy. Take your sister. Drink responsibly.
Dad,
Rory-
no! You're supposed to say no!
Rory kind of
Make
blinks.
sure you eat.
Rory kind of blinks, looks back at Cassie. Cassie shrugs, and Rory says, "I didn't think it was gonna be that easy," and leaves. Cassie trailing behind.
It's like, oh no, they're going to be drinking with a family friend up the road in a controlled environment.
I'd rather you do it in the house where you're safe.
Have a little. I'd rather you do it here. You know, your friends are welcome in the basement. We've got some refreshments. Mama Sperduto, forever. She doesn't sound like that, but exactly what she would do.
100%. Can I make you a turkey while you guys are drinking? No? Strawberry shortcake? I can go out
I
and get
heard
the
you
stuff.
were playing D&D. Here, I brought you lasagna. I know you said you weren't really hungry, but I thought just a little bit.
Just whip up a little lasagna. It's okay.
I love it.
Where's the lie?
There's none.
There's no lie.
Steffi's gonna send. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
Steffi's gonna send Ember after them with like a little picnic basket full of food. Make sure they don't drink on an empty stomach. I don't want their tummies getting upset.
Ember gives you a little salute and kind of flutters off after them.
That's my good baby.
Now, does Talavar know Ember? And that is the real question. And the answer is yes. Because Lorelai is here often.
Oh, yeah. Z goes to visit Lorelai all the time. And tells her everything. Okay, so Z, as we're walking to the brewery, Z will kind of chat everybody up and talk about she'll talk about, you know, where she gets her ingredients from and how she's got, you know, a grove of apple trees back there, looking specifically at Ren and winking. How she's got a grove of apple trees behind the brewery, where she gets for her cider, and she also grows her hops, and she gets her wheat from over here. So she's kind of doing the little tour of all fun things, and then she will welcome you guys into her brewery. As described earlier, it has you walk in and there's music playing from somewhere you don't quite know where. It's just oddly soothing and just zen and relaxing and just makes you feel at home. It's almost as if you walked into, oh, there it is. Almost as if you walked into a beautiful wooded glen. That sort of peaceful, almost spiritual feeling when you walk in. It just feels very relaxing and very. Is everybody else's stuff coming up in blue? No. Okay. Sorry. May just help me. So everybody walks in, and Z kind of shows you around. She's okay. So this is all where the taps are, and this is where I will be serving you guys beer. But I thought I'd give you a little tour of the back first, of where all the magic happens. What do you think?
It sounds lovely. I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Oh, this is amazing. So this is where I keep all my ingredients. And she opens up this double-doored, just, I can't even say closet. It's almost like a separate room, just with shelves and shelves of just jars and bottles, and just, it looks like an alchemist's shop. There's just ingredients of all different kinds. They have all different like labels on them, all different colors, all different styles of bottles. And in the middle, like outside of the closet, there's a big wooden table. It looks like it's been around for a long ass time, because it has. And it's just got scuffs and scratches on it, and it's got jars and bottles and just reams of paper just crumpled up, and things crossed out, and things, other words circled, and you could tell she's working on recipes. And there's like half drinking coffee cups there. You could tell this is kind of like where she does her brainstorming, and where she kind of figures out her latest concoction. So she's going to explain to you, this is kind of where I do the work, and where I kind of taste test everything. And back here, and she'll open up another 2 double doors, and you just see how many? 4 rows of barrels laying on their sides. From super dusty to the left to not so dusty on the right. This is clearly where she puts her brews to age them while they ferment and do all wonderfully yummy things. And so she'll be explaining like the fermentation process and how that works. And she said, I don't want to tell you everything because I don't want to spill the secrets, but it's super fun. It's a little science, and it's a little heart and soul. Do you guys have any questions about any of this?
Naraka raises her hand because Z said science, and she has a workshop.
Yes, yeah, Naraka, what's up?
Could you go into details about? I noticed. So when I was in Dunderall, they had these aerosolizers that they used for part of some of the process when they want like a really good head of foam on their beer, and I kind of used some of that to do a different thing that was not beer. But I wanted to, could I get a closer look at the apparatus that you use here, and could you give me some insights into how you incorporate it into your process?
Oh, of course, absolutely. So Z's gonna wink at you. She's gonna say, "I like that you mentioned Dumderall." She says, "That's actually where I got my start. I actually was able to train under Edward. He taught me everything he knows about making beers, and maybe not everything he knows, but he taught me a lot, and I was able to extrapolate the rest of it. And so I use the aerolizers, and she's going to open up a cabinet, and you see like all different types of different types of aerators and this and that and tubes and all sorts of stuff. And she says, so when you put everything together, it's got to ferment. You got to make sure that it gets some air too, because if you clog it up and there's no air circulation as the wheat and the barley are fermenting with the yeast, she's just going to go on in this very Leannan pressured speech about beer and fermentation process and how you need to make sure that there is a pressure release, and if you change the pressure release to have it release less pressure, then the beer will get more dark and heavy, but if you release more pressure, then there's more fermentation left, and it'll be more bubbly. She'll go all into all of that.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you had studied with Brother Edward. He was. I never had the chance to meet him. I was too young. But my mother was a friend of his. Do you know Katerina von Grutzner in Point Pleasant?
DM, do I know Katerina von Grutzner?
Yeah, you met her.
Oh, awesome. Oh my god. You're fucking sure I do.
Remember the Mimic House that locked everybody in and everybody freaked out immediately?
Yeah.
That was when you met her.
That was a good time. She said, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even connect the name. I'm so sorry. It is a wonder to meet you."
Oh no! The pleasure's all mine. I was very happy to visit Thunderal and take down a few bits of inspiration from Brother Edward's work, but it's clear that you're definitely full-on inheritor of all the sorts of brews that he was known for. So.
He was one of a kind. There'll never be another Edward. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be out of the forest. I wouldn't be around. I wouldn't be where I am today. And she's gonna kind of cast her eyes over to Ember and Seffi's kids, and lastly, like, rest on the professor for a second. She says, "I'm so blessed for all the things that he's still giving me today. So, who would like to taste the beer?"
You see that Rory and Cassie have already gotten into him. Cassie took one drink and is already drunk. Rory made it a little bit longer. She made it to 2 before she started getting woozy.
So Z will go back behind the bar and she'll kind of very gently and lovingly shoo them out. This is something that she's clearly done multiple times before, and she'll guide them to a little booth tables, and she'll set them down and kind of oh my god, yes, she'll settle them down in a booth, and she'll say, "Let me get you guys a special treat," and she'll go back and she'll get them some of the cotton candy strawberry non-alcoholic cider and put it in front of them with a big old water. And then she'll go back to her. She'll like ruffle their hair as she does it. She goes, "You guys, you'll learn. One day you'll learn. We'll tend to those headaches in the morning."
So the rest of the afternoon spent in Z's brewery, taste testing everything she has to offer. Ember going around making sure that everybody has a little bit of snackage in them, so they don't get too carried away. Nice, pleasant afternoon is spent. You spend as long as you wish among friends, and that feels like a good place to stop for the evening.
Woo!
Yay!
Do we all make con saves?
You can if you want. I wasn't going to do it right away since we're past 11 o'clock, but if you want to start making con saves, go right ahead.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
No
I don't know where this
conflict to
came
run,
from.
he's not on a boat.
Narco can hold her booze just fine, thank you.
Woo!
Yeah. So far, everybody's doing pretty good. At least one. Very cool.
Oh, they're getting lower as they go. This checks out.
They're getting higher for me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna roll the one. Naruto's not doing much more than just like taking the little flights of taste testing.
Yeah.
Yay! He's got flights.
Professor's drinking like he eats right now.
I'll lift one of those and
Line
one
'em
of
up.
those and one of those.
Line them up.
Z, knowing how Professor is, as she's chatting everybody else up, she's keeping an eye on his glass and she's just cycling through the different beers for him, just knowing he's going to want to taste every single one.
I want to try the secret stock.
With, is that the code word for another sleepover?
Hey-o.
Yeah,
I
is that a code word
waiting.
for everyone go, we are to be special friends now?
Clearly.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, Jade's are just getting higher as she goes, so she just doesn't have any problem with any of this.
Amazing.
I assume we try all of them.
I have 5 alcoholic and 1 non-alcoholic.
Ren is still out
Yep.
back eating apples. I'm so sorry about your next cider production. It's going to be a little low.
It's all good.
I'm sure Z knows a guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And Z also knew exactly what she was doing when she saw Ren hightail it over for the fucking apple puff or whatever she got earlier. She ain't stupid. Z saw everything.
Apple, apple.
I love it.
Hey, Shinigami like apple, and I didn't realize Ren was a Shinigami, but apparently he's part Shinigami. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta
feed,
do, man.
feed him apples.
Hell yeah. He knows what he wants, and he gets it. Ugh.
Cool.
Everyone gets to cast their vote for their favorite once they've tasted them all.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll take nominations for the evening.
I
Professor for
vote
foolishness.
Steppy / Ren.
Yeah. Definitely. For that whole back and forth there.
100%.
For sure. And Professor for being very professory. And then also Narco Sepka
Mm-hmm.
for being very Narco Sepka.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Very much.
I will say Jade meeting one of her heroes was pretty awesome.
Oh, that was
And
adorable.
also, why am I blanking on names right now?
I mean, there's only so many.
Yuki's state of fluff being correlated to her HP value.
Yeah, that too.
That's good.
But that's a real thing. How shiny and glossy the coat is indicative of overall health.
Absolutely, it is.
Oh, yeah. All great moments. Oh boy. Yeah, Jade.
Well,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I have 2 inspirations, so give it to somebody else.
Okay. I'm gonna agree with Professor. He's very very much he won't be deterred from his mission, and you got to respect that. I mean,
It's very
Yes, you do. If you don't, it's just going to keep happening anyway, so you might as well reward it.
I
think so.
I think the word you're looking for is tolerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, I did get a good laugh out of Yuki's fluffing.
hell yeah.
I did get a good laugh out of that. Super special mention to all of the Sepka titles. It was
Hell yeah.
I didn't realize I was missing so much in my life.
Yeah, I miss Sepka. I miss Sepka, and I miss the Sepka Seppiisms that we're getting now that we didn't get before. So
Yeah.
that's definitely something that needs to happen a couple times.
Yeah.
It's been a few years. We evolved.
Yeah, you did.
And I love it.
It was amazing. Truly amazing. Um, yeah, I'll say Professor and Yuki tonight.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Thanks. It's not even an avocado.
Alright, I gotta go take care of critters. You guys have a good night.
Good night, darling.
Bye.
Good night.
Done.
So can I tell you some of the ridiculous questions my kid has asked in the last 24 hours?
Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes, please.
Question number 1. Do you have to take your boobies off to take a bath? Question 2. Do cows eat asparagus? And my personal favorite, because he was playing with this little Mario Kart Hot Wheels toy, he looked at it, he's like, Mario, did you put 10 books in my backyard? What the fuck did that come from?
Yo, kids are fucking crazy.
Oh my god, it's so funny and infuriating.
How are you feeling, Mars?
I am slowly getting better. At this point, it's just this cough, and my my muscles hurt from coughing. But I took today off.
We're all
Probably to
sick.
log in. I know.
I'm not. Please don't get me sick.
I be in my presence for 5 minutes because it happened to Allison and she already got sick.
No.
I also work in an office where people have kids and all of their kids are getting sick, so I blame it more on them.
I thought you were going to say I work in an office where people have germs.
I was around other people for like 5 whole minutes, and like the house was out without heat for 2 weeks, and I was fine. People come over to work on the furnace, and I am now sick, and that means it's a human problem.
It is a human problem because we don't cover up our breathers.
And I don't like it.
You know what I miss?
Things with your hands.
Going 2 entire years without getting so much as a cold.
Yep.
Fucking right. I didn't get sick once until I was around other people again.
I
Longest I've ever
ordered
been
a new box of masks, and they are in my car now.
Nice.
Yeah, when I have to go
Fuck
back to
this
the office,
shit.
I wear a mask every time, and people can stay 6 feet away from me because that's how we're going to be compliant with this new world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
That and COVID numbers are starting to surge again, so...
Of course they are! Fucking surprise! You know what I super hate? I have all this stuffiness, and there's nothing in there. It's just sinus pressure, and I hate it.
That's what makes headaches.
Eyes. Yeah, my head hurts so bad yesterday, guys. I was almost in tears a couple times. Like that's how bad my head hurt. Took Tylenol, passed out. Trying to make myself work every day though, so whatever. Slightly improving every day.
So
are we still recording?
Yeah.
God damn it!
Well,
hi internet.
Hi internet. What are you learning today?
Put a mask on, you fuckers.